team. And tonight for Greg, playing the latest game in the history of the school, but he knows no excuses.
No, you play it when you play it, and both these teams have dealt with some games that they wish they could have had back so far this year. So off we go from the Coliseum. USC won the toss and will have the ball first, and will have the ball right at the 23-yard line on the return by Makai Lemon. And we say hi to Allison.
Hey there, JB. This USC offense is led by quarterback Miller Moss, and he's taken his fair share of criticism during this 3-game losing streak. But head coach Lincoln Riley said, if you're good enough to be the guy, you've got to be good enough to deal with it. It's part of playing the position here. You either want the gig or you don't. It's not something you can ignore. You have to face it head on. But he wants his quarterback to have perspective, saying he's played well. We just haven't won games. He's so competitive. We have to make sure he's seeing things the right way and has confidence. He said if you have confidence, you've got a shot. If you don't have that position, you've got no shot.
See if they get him a quick, easy one. Here it is. Woody Marks out of the backfield. He's 1 for 1 out of the chute. And this offensive line with the center, Jonah Monheim, who grew up a USC fan like his quarterback.
Yeah, he's moved over from tackle, done a great job. He communicates everything. The left guard, Pregnon, was a questionable coming in, battling a knee, but he'll be right next to Monheim all night long. They got to get Zachariah Branch going. Astonishing that he has 0 touchdowns this season. That has to change tonight.
Yeah, 27 catches, a breakout star last year for USC with Caleb Williams here, and Woody Marks, who has been the bell cow, gets to the 29-yard line. We'll see who Rutgers has defensively here. Some injuries have dinged them up.
Yeah, they are a lot of sore puppies in there, but Hamilton's going to move up and down the line. You'll see him inside and outside, really good with his hands. Powell's going to be a bit limited tonight. Another guy that is fighting through injuries, and as is the entire secondary. But nice for them. They'll have Longer Beam, the captain, back out on the perimeter at corner.
USC will stress a defense. They go 4 wide on 3rd down and 3. The corner near side backs off. Moss looks this way on a crosser. Jacoby Lane, couple yards after the catch, and he is down. It's a first down.
Yeah, they like to do this on 3rd down, just those in cuts and versus zone coverage, which you're going to see a lot from Rutgers. It's all about anticipation for Miller Moss, hitting that window right off the linebacker's ears. Excellent anticipation, even better accuracy.
High-level processor, Miller Moss, right?
And an accurate guy, especially when he sets his feet.
He and Lane had quite the connection in the Holiday Bowl last year. Marks on a bounce outside. Tiptoes down the sideline. It's a first down run for Marks. He's knocked out by Powell after 17.
Well, they want to see the big play come here, and a nice job of bouncing this out. A body on a body. They pick up the little TE stunt on the left side of that line and get just enough. So Marks, the transfer from Mississippi State, highly productive player. There's just another gear. And that gear is an explosive play, taking the 10, the 15, and taking the top off is what they're looking for tonight.
He is 4th in the Big Ten in carries. We'll see Kyle Monungai on the other side, who's top 2 in the Big Ten in carries for Rutgers. On first down, play action. Moss throwing this side. It's right there, and it's a first down for Jay Fair for USC, the junior out of Dallas.
Yeah, this is not necessarily, Jason, an out-scheme game. This is an out-execute. You're going to know where Rutgers is. They're not very exotic, especially on a shorter week. So it's all about the execution, the attention to detail. Well done between the two.
Where do you see that attention to detail on that route?
Just the timing of that, the precision of it.
Moss with time. Right down the middle. Kyle Ford, catch and run. He lost the football, but Fair is on it for USC, and a 1st and goal coming up.
Wow.
Whew.
That's 19. Once again, the same concept you saw earlier, just that in-cut in between the linebackers. But an awesome job there by Eric Rogers, the corner, to come in and punch that ball out. But this is why you continue to pursue and you follow behind your teammates. Jay Fair, Johnny on the spot.
Gains of 19, 13, 17, and 12, and only a whistle can slow down USC for the moment.
I think it was Peanut Tillman, right?
Peanut punch.
Woo! And Kyle's like, thank you, Jay Fair, for saving my bacon.
Trojans are in the La Victoria.
Peanuts and bacon. You building a meal over there? He's doing your job now. You know that? He's an analyst, Peanut Tillman.
And a pretty good one.
Yeah. 1st and goal, USC. Marks, hesitation, and he gets undercut. Desmond Igbinosun went low. It's 2nd and goal.
Yeah, that's kind of like the bullpen pitcher coming in when you got runners at second and third and making sure there's no more runs scored and you make me and my ERA look good.
Are you pandering to the baseball crowd tonight?
I could be. You know, they're 6 miles away playing game 1 of the World Series.
Thanks for listening to The Open. 2nd and goal for USC. Play action. Moss back of the end zone. It's a leaping grab for the touchdown. Zachariah Branch is on the board. There is a marker in on the play.
Yeah, you're going to see Zachariah, the top left of your screen, come all the way across, right? Scissors. Receiver comes one way, the other comes the other, all sorts of traffic. And how about the elevation in the hang time, known for the foot speed and the quickness. That time he just hung in the air. And just like his jersey number 1, the first of the season for him.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 10. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. It is number 10's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. The previous play is under further video review.
It looked like he put that away.
Yeah, a lot of contact, and he did have to hang in the air. And you know what happens with players like Zachariah Branch? Kind of like sacks or turnovers, they can come in bunches. There's a look at Flip Dixon called for the unsportsmanlike afterwards. I thought maybe, well, 2 things. Number 1, Miller could have thrown this a little further in front of Zachariah. He had the whole end zone to work in front. And it was a nice adjustment by Branch to hang up in the air, right? He's going up in the air to try to separate. He has it. Does he maintain all the way through contact with the ground? That's what the replay guys are looking like. Looks like it to me.
Checking the Rosemont Big Ten Replay Center. We'll see on the reverse angle this time if it hit the ground. I don't know that it hit the ground.
It could hit the ground and it can move, but he just never loses control. Wouldn't it be nice to defy gravity like that?
It'd be nice.
Never knew what that felt like.
Sometimes you see in players' histories, right? They ran track, and you know a lot of guys run track. They're stellar athletes, but you can see the long jump prowess right there of Zachariah Branch. He did it in high school at Bishop Gorman in Vegas.
And you can see the conversation Greg Schiano is having with one of his veteran guys, Flip Dixon, as well. Uh-oh. Did they just get word that?
After review, the receiver lost control of the ball going to the ground.
Wow.
Therefore, it's an incomplete pass.
Really?
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Mike Pereira
number 10,
told us off mic he thought it was going to be a catch like us. Let's see what Mike says here. Mike, what do you see here?
Well, I only said that because I was agreeing with you guys. That's why I said. I don't know how you can overturn this. Yes, the ball does touch the ground, but watch the left hand stays on the ball. Yeah. I mean, if there is a little slight movement, but that can't be something that you reverse to incomplete.
Well, Mike, you've said it to us many times over the years. Well, I think it hit the ground. I think it moved, but this is not a thinking decision. This has to be indisputable, and that's surprising, I think, to all 3 of us to turn it around.
And I think that's where you get a little nervous about replay when they get this technical, that they're not taking into consideration what was called on the field, and that's critical to do that.
Thank you, Mike. Zachariah Branch, like, what do I have to do to get a touchdown? All right, so 1st and goal off the unsportsmanlike conduct, but because that won't affect the kickoff, it changes the next Rutgers possession here, at least in some way. Greg Schiano communicating with his defense here. Branch is not on the field, so it's going to be somebody else if they score. That's Eldridge in motion. Marks is stonewalled. He was driven back. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, if you're going to have unsportsmanlike, you might as well, on the next very snap, Flip Dixon, come in and put your shoulder pads right into the thigh pad of Woody Marks here. You're going to see Flip Dixon. That is not an easy tackle for a safety with a running back coming at you, but that's called killing the motor. Go right for that thigh pad, head up, shoulder through him, and don't stop the feet.
And Angoy helped as well. He got the arm in to kind of slow the progress a little bit. There was a substitution, so USC only has 9 to snap it on the 9th play of the drive. Once again, Marks is in. Touchdown, USC. think he gave it the home run swing. That was for Shohei and Freddie.
And even Zachariah is celebrating with them, right? Number 11 on the year. And you're going to see Jamome, 28, the linebacker. Watch him. He's going to scoop around and kind of like flip on the play before. It's a one-on-one. But that time, just too much force running right through the arm tackle of Jamome.
Is it like an agent-client relationship? Does Branch get 10% of that?
No.
Extra point for Lance, who had the big field goal block.
Probably get another shot.
You think so?
Yeah.
What makes you feel like that? Was it the perfect opening drive for USC that makes you feel like that?
Execution.
The only incompletion on the drive was the near touchdown to Zachariah Branch. 10 plays, 77 yards. Marks with the payoff. Everything you'd ask for except for the touchdown for Branch.
Yeah, and I think this is Lincoln Riley saying, come on, guys. I got to get Zachariah Branch some touchdowns. And he didn't like it. Ultimately, you score, and in the end, it really doesn't matter. And I love that shot of Branch coming over and genuinely celebrating with the Mississippi State transfer, number 11, because I think Zachariah Branch knows there will be some more opportunities tonight.
Yeah, and for Lincoln Riley, even if he's arguing with air because it's not the referee who made the call, he's arguing on behalf of his players.
100%. Managers do that every once in a while, right?
But if you do that in Major League Baseball, auto ejection if you argue over an instant replay situation. Oh. If you come out of the dugout, so we don't have that in college football, less good theater. Ethan Kaliak-Manis is the quarterback for Rutgers. He's a transfer from Minnesota. He's at 53% accuracy, but he can run. UCLA saw that last week. What's his key tonight?
Yeah, he's got to hit his intermediate and deep shots. 53% because, see, they don't throw screens. They don't have little swing routes. They run the ball, they play pass, and then he's going to get his shots down the field, and he's going to have to hit them.
From the Wisconsin border with Illinois and Antioch, Illinois, Kaliak-Manis. It'll be on the ground on first down, and Kyle Monungai, who is a human pinball, goes clanging off of Trojans for a nice gain on first down behind this offensive line.
Yeah, this is a big one, led by the left tackle. That's the third biggest offensive tackle in all of college football, Holland Pierce. Yeah, don't adjust your screen. 6'8", 350 pounds. Monungai is an absolute workhorse. They lost a veteran behind him in Samuel Brown. That means even more is on his plate, and he doesn't mind it.
Even that look down the line of 72 Pierce on the left side, he is a wall. 2nd and 6 for Kaliak-Manis in the offense. It's Monungai changing direction. So sturdy, but so quick on his feet. And here is the USC defense, which is so much better this year under Danton Lynn.
Yeah, they're just so much more sound. And yeah, they've given up some plays, especially in the fourth quarter, but a lot of veterans up front. Mascarenas Arnold, the leading tackler there. You just saw him on that last tackle. He's got to match the patience of Monungai. That's not easy to do. And 4 new starters on the back end tonight. No Ramsey, no Vance, no Smith, no Covington once again.
But this defense has been awesome on third down. 25%, third best in the FBS. It is 3rd down and 2 for Rutgers, and Monungai breaks through for a first down.
And thus in the first 3 plays here, in the first 2 series for these offenses, you see the way they're built different. This offense goes through Monungai. He's 5'9", he's 200 pounds. He was 2nd team all-conference last year, and you see the production this year. One of many across college football, like Genty, like Caleb Johnson we saw at Iowa a couple weeks ago. He's the centerpiece and the engine that makes the offense go.
You know, he's such a stocky back, but you love his agility, don't you?
Oh, he cuts on a dime, and he's just always out leveraging you with that just low center of gravity.
2 flags come in. It's not a very penalized Rutgers team. They will be here.
False start. Offense number 59.
Oh, no.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Not Zelinskis.
So we had the Zelinskis brother last week, the center for Colorado. This is Gus Zelinskis.
Right.
Hank had a really tough game last week for Colorado.
Yeah, and Gus is a really good one. He's a senior. He's a veteran. Just a little bit of a flinch there. But this is an offense that can't afford getting behind the chains too much.
As you saw, they just ran it 3 times to avoid an opening 3 and out. Now they'll throw. Kaliak-Manis climbing the pocket. He will tuck. He will dive. He'll splash in like Olympic diving style. on a first down run.
I think the pool is just on the other side.
It is. A very famous aquatic center.
Yeah, he's just a gamer, man. I enjoy watching him. The transfer from Minnesota. His coordinator, Kirk Shiraka, was in Minnesota with him as a young guy. Says totally different, totally mature. Got what he could there on first down to make up for that first down penalty.
Listening to him talk about growing up in Illinois and just playing catch out in the street with his brother, it's like the great American childhood as a run for Monangai, and he drags USC with him. My goodness, Nate Clifton went for an unwanted ride. Downstairs, Allison.
Well, guys, we can see Monangai is such a tough and physical runner, and at 5'9", he's been undersized his whole life. He continues to run with that chip on his shoulder, even after the success he had going back to last year. It's something he takes pride in. He's from New Jersey, playing for Rutgers. He said it's a grit thing. It's a New Jersey grit, and anytime, anywhere, I will argue that New Jersey is the best state with anyone. He said, it's near and dear to my heart, and I try to represent that every play.
He runs like it. Clifton is the injured player down. Thank you, Allison. We will step aside and check on Clifton when we come back. Third down, Rutgers. Fox College football sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Game 1 of the World Series going on just down the road a piece at Chavez Ravine. East Coast, West Coast, together in a couple of places tonight in the Los Angeles area. Coast to coast. Let's travel in baseball and football form, right? All right, launch them. It's an extra 120 miles or so for the Yankees.
And yeah, our friends on the East Coast, maybe some in our production truck, will tell you you're going into the jet stream this way.
Yeah, you are.
A little longer when you're heading this way than it is on the way home.
But we'll try to pick up some time in the air, as the pilot always says.
And don't think, by the way, as we transition to 3rd and 4, this is going to be in the air, because Rutgers more than willing to run it every play so far. And 3rd and 4 is not an automatic pass for them by any means, not with the workhorse behind Kelly McManus.
That is Kyle Monangai having a little conversation with his center, Zelinskas. 3rd down and 4, Rutgers.
This is a little run check to that Bear front.
Monangai is going to be half a yard, maybe a yard short. Okay, so UCLA went for it against Rutgers in its own territory deep last week. You going?
Yeah, they're going, and they're getting up to the line in a hurry to do so.
Here it comes. It's a run. It's Monangai. He's driven back. He spins. Let's see where they spot this. One official says first down. The far side official was closer to Rutgers territory. They're having a discussion over this. It's almost a standoff. That's a first down the line here, but they will measure, and this is reviewable as well.
And this is just Monangai. Totally emblematic of everything that Allison said to you going to break, of just how tough this guy is. Because at the point of attack right here, he gets hit, and I don't know if he has. It's going to be awfully close. But he drives, he keeps the feet up, he keeps the lower legs up, and he's got it.
By more than the spot suggested, yes. Too, right?
Yeah, I think down the line they may have thought that thigh was down, the leg was down.
This will be a first down. What a run. I mean, you talk about toughness.
Yep.
Resilience.
Yeah. Kind of built in the image of Greg Schiano right there.
Chop, as he likes to call it.
Yep. And by the way, questionable coming into tonight. He is not 100%. He has taken a beating and just keeps on ticking. And I kind of like this mindset, Benetti.
You do?
Run, 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 run.
One more run, you think? 7 plays, 7 runs. From just short of midfield. Run again. He breaks a tackle. Monangai darts forward. Monangai! First down. 26 yards of brilliance.
Yeah, if you're Tuli Apupu, you just cannot bring 58 coming off the edge. You can't bring your arms. You're just not going to make that tackle. And then the bounce and the speed and the explosion to get outside, a little punch to 27 Shaw's throat. But watch on the front end here. Your defensive end, your one-on-one right there, you have got to grab and cloth and wrap and wait for everybody else to come. You try to throw your hands at them, you're going to be grabbing for air all night long.
There's a face mask as well against Bryson Shaw. There are some Viking fans saying maybe last night we could have used that.
Some of these guys, Jason, that we have seen this year, I just don't know how you tackle them. Jonah Coleman at Washington, right? Ashton Genty at Boise State. The surface area, 5'9", he's listed. He's not 5'9". He just gives you nothing to grab onto and nothing to hit. And then on top of it is just cat quick.
He's out for now. Antoine Raymond, the freshman, is the tailback. Kaliak Manis to throw. He wants the end zone, and it is incomplete for Ben Black. John Humphrey on the coverage, second down on the first pass.
Yeah, Humphrey's in for Jalen Smith, the transfer from UCLA. Started a bunch of games there, and that is a veteran in his 5th year versus a true freshman. And a pretty good ball. Kaliak Manis in that situation, you just want to give your guy an opportunity. But Ben's going to learn in time, I got to elevate. I got to go up and get that thing at the high point. He waited and actually hit off his helmet.
Yeah, caught it off the helmet, exactly. Second down. Raymond still in. So now they're behind the sticks, and they will run with Kaliak Manis, and he goes down. He's dumped by Mascarenas Arnold eventually, and Akili Arnold as well, third down.
Yeah, that was an Arnold sandwich. The two brothers, the two transfers from Oregon State, so heady. Asking Lincoln Riley, who are some of the guys that from a present standpoint through all this adversity, a good look at Danton Lynn, who also came over from UCLA, has done a great job getting these guys in position. But those Arnold brothers mature and on spot and on assignment on that second down. Haven't given up a 3rd and 10+ all season long for USC.
This one might be worth 6 if they do. Monungai back in for the first time in this sequence. Kaliak Manis, quick hitter. It's Ben Black, and he is knocked down inside the 10, but it should be field goal time as Meyer makes the stop.
Yeah, once again, the Arnold brothers, though, blow that thing up. Arnold's eyes are on it, both Akili, and then Easton cuts under it, so the rest of the crew can come and finish it off. And pretty awesome drive, but you see the difference when Monungai is out.
Yeah.
Right? It just impacts the whole machine.
Jay Patel is just 4 for 8 this year for Rutgers. He'll go from 26. This field goal is through. See how important second and short is, too, to Rutgers on that drive. 7-3 USC. Six yards a carry on the drive for Rutgers. 5:48 on the drive clock. It ends in a field goal. Now, Rutgers gets it after halftime, but you see, as you said, what both teams are attempting to do offensively.
Yeah, and Greg Schiano said it last week. Part of the reason he went for 2-point that drew a lot of conversation was like, I kind of feel the game. Been around this a long time in college and the NFL. It's going to be a minimal possession game, and based on those first two, this script's playing out just like last week.
And the last thing Lincoln Riley wants is a game with no separation. That has been a big problem for USC, and now a breakaway. Makai Lemon into space. There's your separation. To the 20-yard line.
And what did Greg Schiano say to us yesterday about the special teams of these guys from LA? He said they're dangerous, man. It is speed, speed, speed. And you see the cutback there. Poor lane discipline for Rutgers with two of those guys. That outside, you got to stay in your lane. He does not. Good work there by the kicker to slow Lemon down and save a touchdown.
That's Jack Scullion, the native of Ireland, playing free safety there. You said poor lane discipline. I'd say no lane discipline.
I tend to give guys grace.
Oh, you do? Be nice if maybe that showed up in the booth. First down. Moss, little pump and roll. He's got Marks out of the backfield. When he marks, turns upfield and dives for 9. He got crunched.
That's a cool little sneaky play right there, Jason. Mason Murphy, the right tackle, getting out front and blocking, but take a listen to the violence in the collision.
With Powell here.
At 6'5", 250 coming down the line. Couple veterans making their mark.
We spent some time with Tyreen Powell. He said, I was always bigger than the other kids. That was a hit, like he's bigger than all of the other kids on the field. Off the gain of 9. Moss, quick hitter, Jacoby Lane. Little shimmy, and off comes his helmet. That is dangerous. Yikes.
I think that was Jabome and about 4 other Scarlet Knights. I mean, this is the way they've got to play, right? They're going to give up some speed and some quickness in spots, so it's going to take a total team effort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, and that was dangerous as the helmet came off, and I am glad he avoided the head.
Yeah, that's, look, this place is called the Coliseum, but we don't need, you know, that sort of gladiator stuff. First and goal for USC. Marks got to the 1, reaches out. He is very close. Powell went low for the hit and kept him out of the end zone.
And watch Noah's coming around, 77. He's leading the way. And once again, an awesome collision. And
ooh. What do you think?
I think you've got to stop this game and take a look.
I agree with you.
You've got to stop this game and take a look.
I think your batteries are dying. There you go.
Stop this game.
Make it sure you're good.
The ruling in the previous play that the runner was short of the goal line is under further video review.
Mike Pereira is like, I'm trying to watch the 10th inning here.
And Woody Marks is saying, I got that same low center of gravity. Look at him with just the awareness stretching out. Going to be really tough to see from that view, but there's no body part down.
But they'll pair that view where you can see the leg closer to down with this one and the one we saw earlier, and pair the time codes to see if that ball is in when that part of the body goes down.
Exactly right. Right here. This is going to be your best look. No body part down, no body part down.
They'll match that with the other look to see when the leg was down, because you can't have that off of that piece of it. This is really close, but it's worth it to stop it. I agree with you.
At 5'10", 210 pounds, the agility and the body control these guys have, just phenomenal.
After review, the ruling that the runner was short of the goal line is confirmed. Second down.
Okay. Confirmed, not stand, so it was enough evidence to say. And everybody dressed up in body paint, the most reasonable of us, are saying, why didn't we get the other one, and why didn't we get this one?
But they paired it together, and they had a good look at that. And they have just been running it and running it and running it here inside the 5-yard line, Jason.
Here they go again. Second and goal from the half-yard line. Maybe even closer. Marks got in. Touchdown. With a crash.
Wow. And he takes it high, he takes it low, and he doesn't care. Igbenogson comes on again, unblocked, number 4 there, halfway into the end zone next to the umpire. He is the unblocked, and you know this is a running back, be your own blocker. I got to run right through him. But when you can smell that pay dirt, now number 12 on the year. Excuse me, number 7 on the year for Woody Marks. You go for it.
You can smell it.
Those guys have a sense for it.
Not quarterbacks, though?
Not drive back quarterbacks.
Extra point is good.
Well, there's that explosion play they were looking for, too.
Our field mics are getting a workout. You could hear this thing as they went into the end zone, 14-3. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. 6 miles away, Dodger Stadium, Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam. 6-3 Dodgers final score, and you know it's a different era when that wasn't on any video board in here, but people were watching on their phones, and this place went bonkers.
Yes, it is. I think the players on the sidelines are like, what the heck is going on? And then they put 2 and 2 together, because there's a lot of Dodger blue in here as well, watching on their phones. you can't write the script much better than that for Game 1 of the World Series.
No, it wasn't on any of the screens in here, and immediately when it happened, the Freeman Grand Slam, this place erupted. So cool. It's just neat for what we love about sports, right? Yep. There's a shared experience from down the road. These tickets, I think, were a little less pricey, but you got to have fun with your friends anyway.
Look at that. Look at that swing, he's saying. Freddie had the bases loaded. That ankle feeling better after some rest. And East Coast and West Coast and 2 major markets for the first time in decades put on quite a show down the road.
So cool. Rutgers has it after the USC touchdown. The Scarlet Knights from Piscataway, New Jersey. And Monongai on the run. He'll get about a yard. And that was Kobe Pepe with the stop there. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, that was a nice job of taking a double team on, and look at the grass on Monongai's helmet. That won't be the last of the vegetation on his helmet, and that won't be the last run of the game either. You can see it right there. And I think everybody from Piscataway knows, in order to stay in this game tonight against some superior speed, going to have to grind it, and going to have to own it and run it well.
That's how Rutgers made its bones back in the day with guys like Brian Leonard and Ray Rice. Monongai jump cut, and then he seeks out some contact with Mascarena's Arnold. It's 3rd down and 6 coming up.
Yeah, and that's kind of the line for me, because 3rd and 5 plus, Jason.
Yeah.
Look at those numbers.
Not great, Bob.
3 for 49 coming into tonight. Opponents are against USC in 3rd and 5 plus, #1 in the country, and obviously for Rutgers, not built to play in these nickel situations.
What makes Danton Lynn so good on 3rd down?
Because he's creative, he gets after it, he confuses, and makes life difficult on the quarterback.
4 linemen here. They'll walk up a defensive back.
Here they come.
Kaliak Manis had some time, got it out. It's a 1st down. Dymere Miller. The offensive line held up on the pressure.
They sure did, and you get a one-on-one out there, and that is an advantage slot receiver versus the safety Zion Branch. So part of the reason, too, Jason, they're really good are those 4 starters that are out.
Yeah.
Jalen Smith, Kamari Ramsey, Greedy Vance, really good cover guys. So when you pressure, you feel good, even if it's a nickel or a safety. I don't think you're going to see him leave Zion Branch vulnerable in the open field too many times tonight.
There's a lot of room to work with there. He was well off of Miller. 1st down, Kaliak Manis kept it and threw it. He's got it once again for Miller, who goes face-to-face with Prophet Brown. 1st down, Rutgers.
And that was a nice job of staying on platform. Talking to Kirk Shiraka, who knows his quarterback well, like what are some of the fundamental things you do so he can deliver to Miller and crew. And he said when he sets his feet, he's fundamentally sound. He can put a ball on Miller's hands, the leading receiver for the Scarlet Knights.
Bryson Shaw was breathing down his neck as well, Kaliak Manis, and he still stood in there and made the throw. So Rutgers is driving, trying to get some vengeance for the Yankees. But they're trailing after 1.
Coach Schiano, the run game so effective early. Now the passing game clicking. What are you liking offensively?
I think we're executing pretty well on offense. Uncharacteristic kicking game play, which is a killer. But if it's going to be this kind of game, we got to be able to do it.
In the other phase of the ball defensively, what has stood out to you early? What do you guys need to do to slow them down?
We made a couple errors that have allowed plays to come spilling out. We just got to. We're tackling hard. We're playing hard. We just got to be a little more precise.
Thanks for the time.
You're welcome.
They are playing hard. I mean, violence is what is preached throughout this program, and offense and defense didn't show up in that special teams on the kickoff coverage unit. They're flying around 15 plays, nearly 100 yards of execution in the first 15 for Rutgers.
First play of the 2nd quarter. We'll see if it's Monongai's 10th carry of the ball game. It is. He doubles back again. He used the word curious about himself. He was always a curious kid. And people talk about patience in running backs. It's almost like a curiosity on what the line's going to do.
Yeah, and watching Big Brother, right? Watching the success of others and being curious how they do it. And he's got a bunch of physical traits that we talked about earlier that benefit him. But that patience, man, that is a hard one to learn. A lot of time on task, and he pays big dividends in his game.
We have seen on social media the dance moves, but you see the footwork from Monangai here in person. 2nd and 8. It's a high throw, and it's incomplete, and is celebrating Prophet Brown. It was KJ Duff, the intended target, and leaves him with a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and this is some of the challenge as well for Ethan in the passing game. You saw the fade route earlier to a true freshman, Ben Black. That's another true freshman, and KJ Duff, 6'6", but that's another true freshman out here. So young guys thrown into it. No Ian Strong tonight. He was ruled out with injury. So the youngins are learning some lessons against the veteran secondary.
Kelly Agmanis said to us during the week, I have answers, just be calm, make the throws. 3rd and 8.
Look at this look.
Loaded line. It's a run. Monangai got through the 1st level, and he spiked down in the 2nd level. Mascarenas, Arnold, and Tompkins were there. It's 4th down.
And you got to go.
You do?
Yeah, this is outside of your range, and I think your comfort for a field goal.
It's 4th and 5, though. Can you run it here?
You can. They don't do a lot of screens. That's not been a part of their game. I'd like to see Monangai get the ball outside of just between the tackles, but that's typically not what they've done this season.
Mascarenas, Arnold at the line, Muhammad at the line as well. Pressure coming on Kaliakmanis. Time to throw. He launches middle of the field, and too much for Dymere Miller. It was there.
It was. I was a little surprised because you saw the out route earlier on a 3rd down, and this is not a favorable matchup with Zion Branch. Going to be the safety on the right, and you're going to see the best receiver for Miller run right by him, and that is a throw you've just got to put air on. You can't overthrow this. Underthrow it. Look at him. He's beat by 6 yards is Zion Branch. That is one, and Dymere, the transfer from Monmouth, super productive player, does everything right. And you just ask your quarterback, hey, man, don't be perfect. Just put it up in the air and give me an opportunity, and that one sails away.
And now you're in some trouble. USC has it back. Rutgers has not stopped the Trojans to this point, and the explosive freshman Quentin Joyner is in as the tailback for the first time tonight. Miller Moss 6 for 7. The only miss was the near touchdown for Branch. And Moss will go to the backfield man, Joyner. And there you see some of the moves from Quentin Joyner.
Well, you can also see the protection. Rutgers been very content here to just rush 4 and play a lot of zone behind it. It's what they typically do anyway. Just a 4-man rush. Nice job by Monheim and crew. And the veteran there, Moss, just checking it down. They drop 7 in coverage. Take your check downs. What do I always say, Jason? The crumbs lead to the cookie.
Thank you. No quizzes. It's too late. Here's a run. It's Joyner.
You never go broke.
Taking a profit.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah. There you go. I feel like I'm on the Fox show The Floor, yes. And my category is idioms, and the time is ticking here. Where's Rob Lowe?
14 points in the quarter is?
It's the most this season.
Boom.
For them. 2nd down and 5 for USC. Kyle Ford in motion. Miller Moss feeling good right now. He'll load up a throw down the field. A lot of contact. It's incomplete. He wanted Deuce Robinson, who got slung down. Moss took a hit from Moses Walker.
That's the first time that Rutgers has brought an extra defender there on that pressure. Miller knows it's coming. He stands in. That's a pretty good blow. But he gives Deuce Robinson a chance on a safety, and a nice job by Flip of being physical, getting into the body. He's given up about 3 or 4 inches, but does an excellent job contesting that slot fade.
Rutgers down a bunch of guys defensively. Moses Walker is injured, and we'll step aside. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. So 14-3 USC. Rutgers playing without a whole bunch of guys, and this was just the season-ending injuries to start the year, to start the game here this year. 2 tight ends out there without Ian Strong as well, who didn't play today, so that's a big miss at the wide receiver spot. Felter's injury has shuffled the offensive line in a big way, and obviously the running back room a little thinner. Big third down coming up for USC.
Yeah, and Greg Schiano says nobody cares. And nobody does care. And Moses Walker delivers quite a blow on the quarterback. He comes up hurting. Just one of those seasons for Rutgers that they just can't keep guys quite upright.
This is a big third down for USC. Lincoln Riley saw a 2-score lead at halftime last week go away at Maryland. Miller Moss gives ground into a screen. Kyle Ford breaks 1 tackle. It's all he needed. He shimmies down the sideline. He's out of bounds with Flip Dixon. It's a gain of 18.
Yeah, and this is a play that for so many years has been so good to Lincoln Riley. Right, thrown behind the line of scrimmage so you can get blockers down the field working. A screen pass to Ford moves the sticks.
It's all moving fast. In just a few moments, our game's going to be switching over to Fox. Those watching FS1 will continue to see coverage of the World Series. But for now, you just saw Lake McCree tumbling for another USC catch.
Yeah, and what you have seen here now is the whole playbook of Lincoln Riley. Right, a screen to a receiver on a shallow cross, a little RPO to the tight end, a shot down the field. Lincoln's so diverse in that play calling ability.
You just joined us from the World Series in the middle of another successful USC drive. They've scored twice already on a 3-game losing streak. It's been tough to hold on to leads this year. So the Trojans against Rutgers from New Jersey, leading 14-3. It's play action. It's a throw. It's Makai Lemon hurdling for the first down again.
Once again, just a creative little screen. They run a whole bunch of them, 67 in fact on the season, second most in all of college football. But it's not just to the running backs. It's to the tight ends. It's to the slot receivers. It's to the split ends. Lincoln Riley knows that getting that ball out in a hurry like UCLA did to this defense a week ago, big advantage.
Keegan Jones and Maliki Matavau for UCLA, running back, tight end. Those positions were really damaging to Rutgers last week. Miller Moss, who grew up a Trojan fan, at quarterback after a tough stretch for USC. First down for the Trojans. Moss again. It's a screen. It's Ford one more time. A nasty stiff arm. He is in.
And you know what I love about this, Jason? And take note, young play callers. If a play works, come back to it. This was a 3rd down and 5 conversion. Watch the receivers blocking down the field because Ford catches it behind the line of scrimmage. They're able to block downfield, and then unlike a lot of these games, yards after catch. It was debilitating to Rutgers a week ago. That's now 83 of the 126 passing yards have come after the catch. That too has been missing for USC this season.
That look of Ford holding the hand of Masco and finally shattering the grip is what USC has wanted as a team for about a month. Just some separation, something to make you have some space and not have another coin flip game down the stretch. And it's the USC offense so far. Miller Moss 11 for 13 that has made it go.
Yeah, he's doing what Ethan Garbers did a week ago versus zone coverage. Get the ball out of your hand. That time to Ford, a great recovery by Fair to save the day. And then a couple runs for the touchdown. The big kickoff return by Lemon. Uncharacteristic of a Schiano team. The special teams failed him on that long kickoff return, led to yet again another Woody Marks touchdown. And then the same exact call on 3rd and 5. If it was good in that situation, come back to it in the red zone, and you're right. Breaking that tackle, tearing that hand away, doing whatever it takes for Kyle Ford's first touchdown of the season. A pretty sweet one.
I mean, it wasn't Freddie Freeman dramatic.
Nah.
But it got the job done here in the Coliseum.
But Jason, for USC this year, it's not been what they've done in the first, second, or third. They've been pretty good. In fact, had a lead in all 4 of their losses into the 4th quarter. But this one, significant because you're playing an opponent that it really is a run-first heavy team.
Rutgers will get it back, and they will have it after halftime. Dremel didn't want to let it possibly go out of bounds. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. While you've been at Dodger Stadium, here's what has happened so far. Woody Marks already multiple touchdowns for USC, and now can Monangai keep that carry load going down 18?
Yeah, and he was awesome on their opening drive, but unfortunately had to come out of the drive after about 8 runs. The youngster comes in, they have to settle for a field goal, and yeah, USC still celebrating on that sidelines.
And it is Raymond who's in on the opening play of this drive for Rutgers. The freshman tailback will carry it. And he gets popped on the outside by Bryson Shaw, the former lacrosse midfielder. Goodness gracious.
There has been some hitting tonight. I mean, they got to sit around all day for the latest kickoff in Rutgers history. So, you know, they were chomping at the bit to hit some people. And USC trying to get this taste out of their mouth of 3 straight losses. And the defense at 2 is decimated on the back end, Jason. A lot of backups, 4 out of the 5 on the back end of it. But Sean, experienced guy, bringing the contact.
And no Covington, no Jalen Smith, Greedy Vance, Kamari Ramsey. Long mesh point there, and Raymond will dive forward. He's very close. It looks like it is going to be a first down. Smith, Ramsey, Vance, mentioned Covington. He's very questionable to play much in this game.
Yeah, he would be an emergency. Smith got banged up, as did Ramsey on the last couple series a week ago. Greedy Vance is their nickelback, so they're moving all sorts of different pieces around on the back end. No real nickel defense tonight for Danton Lynn. Really, Keely Arnold playing that role, but limited personnel-wise on the back end.
We've seen Nate Clifton come off on the defensive line as well. It is a first down. Monangai back in. Kaliak-Man is climbing the pocket. He'll tuck it and run and then go down in a heap. It's a gain of 4. Keely Arnold will get one of those tackles where you're the closest guy.
Yeah, you have seen now on these drives, it is absolutely imperative that Rutgers stays ahead of the chains. Kaliak-Manis is not the precision passer, right? They do take their shots, and he's got young people outside for Kirk Shiraka. You see him in the corner there, the offensive coordinator. Imperative they stay on schedule.
We've known each other for a long time, Kaliak-Manis and Shiraka. He recruited him to Minnesota when he was there. Monangai shucks one player and then finally goes down. He's undercut by Zion Branch. Yeah. How do you tackle Monangai? Well, what do you do?
Yeah, and that player that he, what do you say, shucked?
Shucked.
Was named after a bat.
Yep.
That would be Easton.
Yeah, Easton.
I mean, that is a veteran guy and the leading tackler for USC, number 4, that really all night so far has tried to mirror him in their zone run. And they've met in the hole a bunch. And you can swing that bat as hard as you can, but if you don't bring everything with you and wrap, you're going to bounce off.
We asked one of the Rutgers coaches, how do you tackle him? He said, bring at least 2 players.
It's your only shot.
3rd and 3 for Rutgers. And it's a timeout for the Scarlet Knights. 3rd down and 3 when we come back for Rutgers.
Want some football trivia? Just ask Siri. Which coach has the most college football championships?
All you got to do is ask. Lincoln Riley, 55-10 at Oklahoma. He feels like this USC team, talent-wise, could beat the last 2 teams.
Yeah, he loves the young personnel on this team. Greg Schiano knows coming into this season, he really liked his veteran roster as well. Down so many starters, so many playing banged up on a long road trip on a late night. And this is imperative they stay on the field on this 3rd down.
Rutgers 2 for 5 on 3rd down against one of the best 3rd down defenses in all of college football. Cobb up at the line in the middle of it. They're raring to go, breathing fire, USC is. 3rd and 3. They'll rush only 3. Simulated pressure to the outside. It is a first down. Dymere Miller for Rutgers.
Got up there in all those gaps, making it look like it was going to be man coverage, but you're absolutely right. They drop into it. And one of the veterans they do have on that perimeter, Miller, he has seen so much football. The 5th-year transfer, the leading receiver. Nice target for his quarterback to move the sticks.
90 catches last year elsewhere in Jersey and Long Branch for Monmouth. Big first down for Rutgers. They will get it after halftime. Here is Monungai, and he takes some pain that time. Mascarenas, Arnold, and Branch, along with Sam Green first.
Yeah, Sam Green is right at the edge, 44. 6'1", about 240 pounds, so he can leverage too, gets off the block, and that just stopping momentum is so critical. You've got to stop his feet, and then you got to rally. One of the rare occasions to stop him for almost nothing.
Kaliakmanis bluffed the snap there. He saw Cobb fade back off the line.
Look at that turf.
Oh, my goodness.
Replace your divots.
Anybody have any windshield wipers? They'll run it again right into that spot where Cobb was, and Mason Cobb with the tackle. It's going to be third down, but Kaliakmanis got a good look at what USC was going to do on that play.
Yeah, so that was a numbers deal. That is a lot of turf.
That's a Chia helmet at that point.
Yes, but that was outside zone and showing off Kyle's vision, not just an inside zone guy. He can do it all, and that time on the outside zone, reading the movement, planting the foot, and getting right downhill into that grass.
How do you see? Third down and 2. Feed him again. Running right, keeping his feet. Man, oh man, it's as though the person tackling him is like a foot smaller.
Yeah, the great running backs, he is slow to get up. And he came into this game a hurting puppy as well.
That is awful to see.
And same concept, right? Come back, repeat the same play, just outside bounces to the outside there.
You see the wash coming off of his helmet and the turf there. Did he get turf in his eye, possibly? You know, he runs so hard. We talked to his quarterback, Ethan Kaliakmanis, about Monungai, and we asked him what it's like to hand him the ball. And Kaliakmanis, I've never heard a quarterback say this before. He said, as I'm carrying out my fake, I can hear Monungai's runs.
Yep.
I can hear it.
Yep. You can't watch it because you get a negative on your grade sheet if you don't carry out your fake, but you can hear it. Kind of like the great ones taking batting practice, or I don't know, maybe Freddie Freeman's, like right off the bat, Jason, when you make a call in baseball, you know. And you know when he's running through contact, and I think you're absolutely right. I think he's got so much stinking turf and sand all on his helmet into his face that he is just trying to kind of clear the vision. The head did hit the ground also pretty darn hard, but yeah, I think those eyes tell you that, hey man, we've got to do some landscaping here and get all of that sand and dirt out of my eyes.
I mean,
guy runs so hard.
Every play.
Yes.
Every play. You watch any game.
He runs like every play and every carry is his last carry.
Yeah.
There's no conservation.
A couple of siblings. They were always competitive growing up, and he runs like it as Raymond is in on first down for Rutgers. Scarlet Knights are driving. Kaliakmanis hits it on the outside for a first down for KJ Duff. That's inside the 20-yard line. The freshman Duff with the grab and a gain of 22.
And that is a nice job. This was a thrown with some conviction here from Ethan to the perimeter. Puts it right on the 6'6" freshman, and he knows there's not going to be many corners, even big ones like DeCarlos at 6'3", that are going to bring him down one-on-one as well.
Off a career high of 82 yards in the UCLA game for Duff. It'll be first down, another long drive for Rutgers. First long drive ended in a field goal. Duff topside, Kaliakmanis looking this direction instead, and he has Dymere Miller. It is first and goal for Rutgers.
That is a long throw. There is no question about arm strength. The question at times is the finesse. It's the touch. We saw the missed touchdown earlier, a little tempo here from Rutgers, but that's a far out route all the way across the field, right on the money.
14-yard completion.
Raymond got in, touchdown. A zigzag for a score.
How about the true freshman with the little footwork like Manungai? Watch his little pitter-patter in the backfield. Even more so, look at the huge left tackle, Holland Pierce, all 350 pounds, washed down the edge. So the true freshman can do a little dancing as well and get in that end zone.
Touchdown number 3 for him. He is one of 7 Canadians on the roster out of Montreal.
Hey.
Always endearing yourself to the locals. Extra point is no good.
What?
Yeah. He missed it. Those points matter. We saw it last week in the UCLA game. Touchdown for Raymond, but Rutgers trailing by 12.
Hey, coming up on the Fox College Football Halftime Show, Ashton Jeanty in action tonight working on his Heisman resume. Big Noon Kickoff heads to Columbus, and we'll preview this weekend loaded with intriguing matchups all over the country. Jason and Brock, we'll see you fellas at the hat.
Mike, thank you so much. We look forward to it. That's a big game coming up in the Big Ten. We'll see if Ohio State can keep on rolling there. 11-play scoring drive for Rutgers. They missed the extra point.
8 runs, 3 passes. That was a have to.
Yeah.
You have got to stay within range of this USC team in the potent offense. Get this game in the second half and put the pressure back on those guys from LA.
Makai Lemon had a big return earlier, and Rutgers stays sound in the lanes that time as Claudius makes the stop. Long field for USC, and we didn't know in the preseason, right? Top 25 team, felt good about it. You lose Caleb Williams, and you don't know exactly what it's going to look like. They beat LSU, and they closed in that game, and Lincoln Riley leans on that as one of those games where you say, hey, it doesn't all have to be like those 4 losses.
No, but that team was a little deeper because they were really healthy, and that was their lone 1-score win. 1-4, already 5 1-score games, and on the wrong end, unfortunately, the last 4.
We've seen the creative play calling tonight. A couple of screens that worked very well to Kyle Ford earlier in the quarter as Miller Moss is ready to throw again. That's Marks out of the backfield. A tremendous receiver. And runner after the catch. It's a first down. Allison Williams downstairs.
And Lincoln Riley was really candid about what this season has been like for his team. He admitted those close games and those late losses have been a bit of a mind game, and he's trying to walk that fine line between addressing it and correcting it and not making it turn into something bigger than it already is. But he said the biggest issue isn't so much letting those games get away. Obviously, that's disappointing, but not separating in games when they have chances to pull away from teams and not doing that.
Let Maryland right back in. Woody Marks saw a hole and just detonated through it. It'll be second and short.
21-7 a week ago. Get the ball, have a chance to go up 28-7. An interception, turn the whole thing over as SC is playing with a little bit of tempo here now as well. Throwing everything at them.
And then some. Free runner coming. Moss flows that direction, and it's Woody Marks, who was lined up as a receiver that time. Well, he's a good guy to have after UCLA gashed Rutgers on wheel routes and rails and things like that.
Well, the tight ends and running backs against this Rutgers crew, 20 receptions, 281 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Just the UCLA tight ends and running backs a week ago up in Piscataway. And a lot of that, Jason, is zone. Right? Play a lot of zone. Rutgers tries to play sound, keep everything in front of them, rally and tackle.
Which leaves some space for runs after the catch. Moss, Zachariah Branch. Got a block on the outside, and there he goes. Turbo jets inside the 30.
And once again, you throw right into the pressure. So a lot of zone, you're going to see the edge. The nickel defender come here on a pressure. What do? You throw right into where he is, and then the blocking outside has also been on point tonight from every one of these receivers.
That was Kyron Hudson that time, 122 yards after the catch. USC coming into the game basically had double the yards after the catch as Rutgers did entering this game as a team. Marks to the fringe, and he turns it upfield. He hits the gas pedal quickly.
He does, and they do it differently. Rutgers is predominantly inside and outside zone. And he, too, has got a lot of turf Chia helmet.
Chia helmet.
But USC does it with a lot of counter, right? And the defensive coordinator there, Joe Harasimiak, knows, like, that counter is coming. Big people are coming at you, changing the gaps. And a nice job there of Marks waiting for the big guys in front of him to pave the path and run right behind them.
You know, for the Yankee fans in the crowd, Mariano Rivera's cutter, as the lore goes, came from just tinkering in the bullpen. That counter play for Lincoln Riley came out of sort of the same kind of saga. We'll tell you how when we come back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. The Dodgers used to play here at the Coliseum. Pitchers loved it. It was 250 to left field. Good luck. The World Series 1959 was actually played here in the Coliseum. Tomorrow on Fox, don't miss Game 2 of the World Series. Aaron Judge and the Yankees, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman will be in future promos after his grand slam. 7 Eastern on Fox is when it starts. USC is driving. It is second down. The run game has been big. It's Woody Marks again. On the run, Marks scores! Number 3 of his night.
What'd you say about that counter play?
It is special.
Pretty effective.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's guard tackle, sometimes it's guard tight end. They do it to create new gaps. Defenses have to be on it. They've got to communicate, and if they don't, and those pullers capture the edge like that, well, a veteran back like Woody Marks will make you pay.
Should we tell them the origin story of the counter play for Lincoln Riley? Or you want to see the replay first? You pick. Choose your own adventure.
I say we go replay. I'll try to do it quickly, and then you can tell the origin story.
Okay, perfect.
Because this is teaching tape right here. You're going to see the left guard, number 70, pull around, Pregnon, along with the tight end, 87, McCree, and they hit their targets. Boom, boom. And it's so hard on a defense in real time. That's slow motion. In real time, if you're not on it and you're not communicating and you get out leveraged, you get gashed.
So you know there are all these bowl practices for college football teams. Woody Marks will celebrate his first ever 3-touchdown game in his career. You have all this bowl prep, and so you can kind of tinker a little bit, especially you're in the college football playoff. You got about a month. And so they're running a play in practice at Oklahoma, and the guy goes the wrong way. And it goes for some yards. And Lincoln Riley goes, well, you know,
he looked at Bill Beatonbow and went, that's pretty good.
That kind of worked.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. Literally, somebody went the wrong way, and it turned into the Riley brothers being the top 2 counter runners in all of college football this year.
Almost 33%, and I'd say even more tonight. Yeah, Clemson and USC do it more than anybody, and it was born out of a missed assignment.
Yeah.
Genius.
Like Mariano's cutter. Dremel will fair catch it. Rutgers does get the ball out of halftime. So if you can come up with even a field goal here, you make it a 2-score game going into the break, you take that.
Yeah, I think Woody Marks takes a 3-touchdown first half as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay with that.
And that's really what Schiano said, man. What makes USC so tough is a lot of backs and a little bit like Rutgers themselves. You can have a great back like Manungai, but he runs it. Not in Lincoln Riley's system. It's always been, that running back's been a weapon. And that makes it for a defensive guy like Schiano so difficult to have to defend everybody.
You said to Schiano, how would you describe this offense for USC? And he said, a pain in the neck. Clean it up a little bit, but pain in the neck. First down for Kaliak Manis for Rutgers. He'll drop it off. He's got Manungai, who is driven back by Mason Cobb, second down.
A, good to see him back in the game. B, I would love to get him in the open field as much as possible.
Going to time out USC. The Trojans want to play make it, take it here. They can get a stop. Yeah, they do. It's exactly what Allison said a little while ago when you joined us from the World Series, is that USC wants a blowout if they can have a blowout. And now a quick message from Allstate.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your spelling first before taking off your shirt. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Hey, what's up? I'm the W.
And you're in good hands with Allstate.
You know, some commercials you're like, oh, that would never happen. We saw it last year in College Park, Maryland, when the Terps guys spelled strep. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was a good time. Second down for Rutgers. $1:45 here in the first half. Kaliak-Manis sees the pocket cave. He got hit. And we'll see if they call this a live ball. They're going to let it play out. Bryson Shaw on the run. He is down at the 1-yard line. The officials will let it play. Kaliak-Manis with the tackle. His arm got hit on the way by. Looked like it was Braylon Shelby.
He hit it. He hit it, but he regained control. I love let it play.
Yes.
If you're in doubt at all, let it play out, and then you come back and look at the replays. He hit it, but I saw a recontrol, and then the arm clearly going forward here.
So they're going to go point to point here, not the full replay situation. It is called an incomplete pass. So this will be third down coming up. That's well done by the officials here.
You got to let it play out. You don't blow the whistle. You don't stop it in case that ball did come out early. It did not. And Lincoln Riley doesn't have to call a timeout on the incompletion. And this is a must. Greg Schiano knows this. You cannot give USC yet another possession here before halftime.
Yeah, this offense has been an amusement park ride for USC in the first half. And not a fun one for the Scarlet Knights. Third down and 5. Will they come with pressure this time? It's Monangai sidestepping one, and he charges forward. He is very close. That should never have been a first down run, and he made it so himself.
That's incredible. Shaw meets him about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and cannot corral him.
Kaliak-Manis to the outside, Dymere Miller. If Rutgers comes back in this game, that will be the play.
What did Kirk Ciarrocca say about Kyle Monangai? It's the runs, the 3 or 4 yard runs, where he's carrying guys, where he's breaking tackles. In that case, he gets a critical third down conversion.
Second and 4, Kaliak-Manis, little sidestep, Miller one more time. First down.
I mean, seriously, not only the initial contact right near the line of scrimmage, but Bryson Shaw, 27, is going to come up and have him dead to rights right there. And he tries to put his head right on the thigh pad. But again, if you don't bring the arms and you don't wrap this guy, he is going to break tackles.
You imagine that kid just sitting on the couch watching Jeopardy like he described to us, right?
Beast. What is a beast? Who is?
Yeah, number 5. Kaliak-Manis over the middle. Got it on a quick hitter to long.
Look at the life that just breathed into everybody.
USC is a little disorganized, it looked like, and this one is going to end up being a grenade off the leg of Nicholson. Second down.
We got detonations.
Yeah,
we got grenades.
Well, there was pyrotechnics before the game. I was inspired.
Dan Lynn's got a pretty exotic play call sheet, just like his buddy Lincoln Riley does, trying to find some answers. They actually made a little adjustment, brought Prophet Brown in to play a little bit of nickel. They did not like the matchup with their safeties on the slot. So Dymere Miller, number 0 in the slot, is now looking at Prophet Brown, the 4th corner right there on the hash mark.
He's in the slot on the right. 6 catches, 7 targets for Miller. Kaliak-Manis will throw, middle of the field. He overthrew one earlier. He missed him again. It's third down.
Yeah, and once again, you just can't overthrow these. You're going to see Miller in the slot running right down that hash, and he's got him. He's got him. A nice job there by Humphreys to come over, but put that in play. Let him go high point it and give him a chance. 2 of those deep routes that Athan would like to have back just a little more touch.
He knew it. You can see it in his face. Right when he let it go. Third down for Rutgers. Suddenly USC still has 2 timeouts left. Kaliak-Manis on the screen. It's Black, the freshman, and Ben Black does get them to set up the 34 for a 4th and 4. Will USC use a timeout here?
Yes.
Yeah, and they should, because if they get a stop here, they'll get the ball back. Now, if you're Rutgers, Patel missed an extra point. They do have a possibility of using sort of a long man as a kicker in Dane Pizarro to try to boom one. You can close to within 2 scores. Correct. Here. It's an interesting question.
Correct. Yeah, I think if you felt better about that situation, but ultimately, what do you feel better about? Kyle Monangai or your kicking situation?
Yeah, I think the answer is Monangai, but you do like, if you can take points and then you get the ball back and then you can feed Monangai to start the second half.
Still 50 seconds as they put a few more back on the clock as well.
It's 4th and 3. Rutgers tonight is 5 for 9 on 3rd down. On 4th down, they're 1 for 2. They're going to go. Fourth and 3, it's a throw. And they've got it. Dymere Miller does hang on. He got drilled by Prophet Brown. Rutgers moves the sticks.
Yeah, and an excellent job. Monangai comes across the formation to pick up the blitz. 24 off the edge. Sticks his face in the fan. Ethan stands strong and delivers yet again.
First down, pressure this time. He'll try to whistle it out of bounds. That never got back near the line of scrimmage, and they're going to say, is that a live ball? The official was over there, and he had his hands over his head instead of signaling incomplete. Now they're going to say incomplete, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, and clearly a forward pass. And Lincoln Riley's thinking intentional grounding, but I think the contact initially, right, he gets hit right away as he's throwing the ball, leading to that thing not getting close to the line of scrimmage. Lincoln is irate on the sidelines, wanting an intentional grounding.
Now, he did. Usually there's some grace when you're knocked off platform and it creates a wild throw, but he had some control of this pass. I mean, that was very intentional what Kaliak-Manis did to my eyes. Mike Pereira is watching this. Mike, what are you seeing here?
I think the other thing that you have to look at here is when did the contact by the defender occur? So if the contact happens before he starts his throwing motion, then he's responsible, and it would be grounding, which looks like what they have called.
Yeah, Mike. Well said.
Number 16 at the spot of the foul, loss of down, the 3rd down.
Appreciate Mikey Rulebook staying up late for us.
Thank you, Mike.
And that's the key point, right? That contact happens first.
Yeah.
And then you're responsible to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He could not do it, and Lincoln voiced his displeasure and got the right answer. Greg Schiano on the other side is now getting an explanation.
Now you're out of field goal range. You're not close to field goal range.
And Greg Schiano looks like he's going to take a timeout, wants a little explanation further.
You see the emboldened Dodger fans in the crowd. They're having a real good night, looking for the old Quinella here. They're going to avoid the runoff is what just was announced. So the timeout for Rutgers is number 2.
Yeah, he also wanted to make sure that it's 2nd down and not 3rd down.
Yeah, the loss of down creates then 2nd down. USC has a timeout left. So if Rutgers goes incomplete in either of these 2 plays, USC could see the ball again. It's not a grave danger with the time left, but it's a part of the calculus here.
I think a little bit. I think more than anything, Lincoln Riley right now is saying field goal. Just do not give the big play up over your head. You played such an amazing first half. Your special teams has really won that phase of it as well. One of the best halves of football they have played since the Utah State game. And we'd like to see him finish it over the 31. On the flip side, Kaliak-Manis, man, if you've got that deep shot and you've got an opportunity, give your guy on the other end a chance to catch it.
35 seconds officially. They added a couple of seconds here. 2nd and 18 for Rutgers. Kaliakmanis saw the heat. Now he'll tuck and run. And he, down the sideline, stays in bounds. There is a timeout coming. It's a gain of 14. Now, he could have gone out of bounds.
Should have gone out of bounds. I think he just loses his feet. And once again, you see the sand. You can see the sand kick up here at the end of it. I mean, you got to go out of bounds here. I think it's more of losing his feet. Nice job of stepping up in the pocket. You see the challenge USC has when they only rush 4. Only 8 sacks this season. Yeah, he just stumbles and can't stop the clock.
What is that sand substance like to run on?
Yeah, it's just like a putting green, right? It is just really thin, and you're seeing it kick up into guys' helmets, into Monungai's eyes. Allison gave us a report that was indeed it. Just kind of had to wash all the stuff that's been flying around. It's been a physical night of football here in the first half.
Very. Both teams on a 3-game losing streak. 3rd and 4 for Rutgers. They're in field goal range, you would imagine, but
no timeouts now.
Yeah, do they have the confidence and do they have the time to do it? Can't take a sack. Third and 4. Kaliakmanis down the middle, incomplete. There's a marker coming in. Miller was calling for it. Humphrey sped over, and it might be interference. It is.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a late call, but I think the right call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Yeah, you're going to see Humphrey come over, and he contacts. Yeah, that impedes him, right?
Well, he kind of flew pretty close to the sun last time.
Yes, he did.
On this.
And it's not a lot, but that contact impedes Miller's opportunity to reach out and go get it. And you go through the body and you make that early contact and draw the penalty.
And now, if you're Rutgers, you have 20 seconds to play with. The tailback is your best player. You don't have a timeout. So Kaliakmanis will throw to the end zone, and that's incomplete. Nicholson on the coverage, and it's interference again with Duff this time. Nicholson is saying it was Duff.
Pass interference. Defense, number 17. The foul occurred in the end zone. The snap was between the 2 and the 17-yard line. By rule, he placed the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Yeah, and Duff is the 6'6" true freshman. It is just too much early contact there from Nicholson.
Yeah.
Right, gets right into the body of him early, never gets back. There's no face guarding in college football, but too much contact early. Can you dare run it right here?
I don't know. You believe he's going to get in if you're Rutgers, though. It's a throw, and it is nearly intercepted through the hands of Prophet Brown. Oh, wow.
Wow, wow. Whew. Yeah, you're going to see the motion come across. Miller's been so active in the slot. That ball is thrown behind. If it is thrown on the front hip, it is a touchdown. It's thrown behind. And Kaliakmanis very fortunate. That's not an interception.
Can't run it with 12, can you?
You get one shot.
They believe in Monungai getting 2 yards. We'll see what the call is. 2nd and goal. It's a throw. Free runner up the middle. Incomplete for Monungai.
Oof. And once again, if he throws that out in front, now there's a lot of contact and he is retreating as Arnold is in his face. But if he puts that out front, that's going to be yet another touchdown for Rutgers.
Is there anything he would look at defensively here that would lead him to check to a run?
A really light box, but there is no way you're going to get that. Not after missing a couple throws like that. You are going to demand that he beats you with the arm and not Monungai running it. Look at all the Trojans tackle to tackle.
Timeout USC.
What an enormous play.
Yes. Well, and you think about the trajectory of this season for Lincoln Riley, and the one thing he wanted in this game was the chance to have the freedom from a one-score game. And the ball finds you, as they say in baseball. 28-9 at this point. It is loud in here. You see Greg Schiano living with that down on the field.
Yeah, and this is where you also miss Ian Strong a little bit.
Yeah.
A more veteran receiver. You're counting for Greg Schiano on a couple freshmen. You've seen Ben Black. You've seen a couple times trying to go to KJ Duff. The mismatch maker in the first half has been Dymere Miller. So if you're Rutgers here, can you find a formation? Right? More than likely going to be man coverage, and they're going to load that box up. And I wouldn't mind getting Kaliak-Manis outside the pocket as well either. And if it's not there, throw it away and make sure you preserve those 3 points.
Third and goal from the 2. Kaliak-Manis, end zone, incomplete. Nicholson that time on Duff, and it's 4th and goal.
And it's almost like, are you going to call it or not? Blocker charge. I mean, you tell me hands all over, at least you're looking back. I think that's the difference. That time you're looking back, but there is an awful lot of contact. And frankly, you're almost taught in that situation. Go ahead and interfere. Because with 4 seconds left, you have to make this decision to get the points.
Who held Duff for longer, Nicholson or Homer Simpson? Patel from 20 from the hash mark. It is good. It is a 2-score game as we go to halftime. So Kaliak-Manis got him in range a couple of times, leading to field goals. 28 points in the first half is the most this year for Lincoln Riley's. Exceptional offense tonight. Halftime score goes to USC. Let's go to Mike Hill and Chris.
Too much pressure on all these one-score games, more than anybody in college football this season. But Rutgers is going to have a say in it, and I have a hunch coming out of halftime, you're going to see a whole bunch of Kyle Monungai to begin it. Toe to the ball an awful lot in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, 16 carries for Rutgers leading rusher. And a touchback will start Rutgers as we say hi to Allison Williams again.
Well, we'll see USC's defense to start here. Lincoln Riley said that group was opportunistic in the first half, but there have been opportunities to get off the field earlier in drives, and they have to be better about that here in the second half. He said offensively, the success they've had, it all starts with how the offensive line has been playing. They're protecting Miller Moss. They've been effective in the run game, and that's allowed them to be multiple. For Greg Schiano and Rutgers, he said it has just been so hard defensively to get a stop. We need to just get one stop and go from there. As for his offense here, he said just continue to execute. We've come up short in the red zone. Keep executing, and it will come.
They're close enough. They've remained close enough to say that and believe it. It's an option, a speed option, and Monungai goes diving forward for about 4.
Yeah, there have not been a whole lot of negative plays, right? There have been a few penalties on each side, not very catastrophic. There have not been many sacks or tackles for loss or negative plays. Both offenses have been able largely to stay ahead of the chain, stay in rhythm, and feature their stars.
And he is that. Monungai, who had a social studies teacher tell him earlier on in life, I don't know why you do what you do playing football like that. Well, that's probably not a great idea. Second down and 6. Monungai into the pile, and that's just grappling. At that point, he spun out of it, but they blow it dead, and the officials have the option of doing that when forward progress is stopped.
Look at this rugby pileup. It is Pepe right in the middle of it, 94. You see the linebackers, both of them, Cobb and Mascarenas Arnold, try to get there. I mean, you just can't bring that guy to the ground.
He would rather the officials be conservative on that whistle, for sure.
No question.
Kaliak-Manis 12 for 22. Now USC coming up to the line with Mascarenas, Arnold, and Cobb again. See if the pressure does come. He has time. He reaches back and throws for Miller, and he couldn't find it. He was tangled up with Prophet Brown, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, this has been one of the adjustments really in that second quarter after Miller torched the safety time after time. They did put a little smaller, quicker guy on him in Prophet Brown. But again, this is a ball that you've got to give your receiver a chance. A little bit of tugging, a little bit of pulling.
He had him for a while, Brock.
Yeah, but it's so far out of range. Right, it's not even within the direction that he is running. Again, that inside fade. He tried to put more air on it. It was just a misfire.
This is allegedly the first punt of the game, as long as it's not a fake. And it is a punt. Anderson gets it away. And the 30-yard line is where Branch will haul it in and fair catch it. It's a 40-yard punt, and USC and this offense comes back out next.
They lead in the fourth quarter in the second half in all these games, but they lack the physicality and the toughness to put it away. Now, that's not good enough.
They can't finish against Penn State. They can't finish against Maryland. They can't finish against Minnesota. They can't finish.
Every game we've lost, but we've been up in the second half, but we can't figure out a way to win. We can't finish. That is a mindset. Look at the schedule. It doesn't get any easier.
So that's what's been swirling around this USC program, right? And the results lead to that sort of conversation.
And the only way to stop it is to perform.
Yeah. Well, they've got a 16-point lead. You mentioned it. The interception at Maryland last week was enormous in swaying that game. Miller Moss has been almost perfect tonight, and this out of the break is a beautiful grab by Makai Lemon for a first down.
Yeah, they love this concept, and once again, a pretty predictable edge pressure. It is picked up, and then it's just a deep curl route here by Lemon. He's reading the space, right? And look at the throw. The throw is before he is ever out of that break. The ball is on its way, and excellent hand-eye coordination to dig it out.
The anticipation by Miller Moss there made that play go. It's a gain of 13. Woody Marks, 10 carries, 67 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half for USC.
And this is a check-with-me situation based on this pressure coming down into and around the line of scrimmage.
That's batted down right at the line by Keontae Hamilton.
Yeah, the former wrestler, and it was fun having the conversation there with his D coordinator, Joe Harris-Simiak, talking about the hands, the wrestling. Amen wrestled as a heavyweight at Rutgers, and wrestlers are usually really good with their hands and really good with their feet. And that time, perfect timing to knock it down and bat it down. Is this like the first, second, and long? I think Coach Harris-Simiak has created all night.
Well, USC for a long time in the first half was averaging more than 10 yards on first down, so they were just compounding first downs. Short toss. Marks, very patient, and he sets up third down and a handful.
Yeah, he was very patient, waiting for his big old center, Jonah Monheim, to come in front of that play. USC does such a good job about as active an offensive line in all of college football. Every single one of these guys at some point pin and pull or counter or get out in front. Monheim, the converted tackle, going to be a center at the NFL level. Nice job getting in front of it.
A pair up top, including Marks. He'll go into the backfield. Monheim, the center, waiting for the call from Moss. There it goes. Moss taps the ball, throws this way, and that's incomplete. There is a marker coming in well behind the play at the 38-yard line.
I think this ball may have been tipped, and that's exactly what they're talking about on the Rutgers sidelines. I think this is not going to be a penalty because this ball was actually tipped at the line of scrimmage.
If the interference happened before the tip.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6, at the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
So it's when did the interference happen is the question.
Yeah, it very clearly gets tipped here. Again, good timing, maybe a conversation there in the locker room. Abram Wright goes up and tips it, and this can be reviewed. When was that contact? They're going to go up to the booth of Bo Masco, and how early was it? There was early contact there. Was that before the tip? And again, that's something where they pair together
so
to determine.
Mike Pereira will join us from in our studio. Mike, what are you seeing here?
Yeah, this is a little bit difficult because it's fairly close. So you have to determine when was the actual act of pass interference? What was he calling? Was it at the top of the route there when there is a grab? Because then you've got to put it in the context of the timing of the tip. You know, I think the ball's in the air and tipped right about at the same time. It's not the type to me that I think you want to leave as interference.
So, Mike, is this again one of those situations where if we're saying I think, the call on the field has to stand?
Well, I don't know, because I say I think all the time, it seems. But you know, it's trying to piece these two things together can be difficult. And of course, they have the ability to do split screen, so you can, you know, you can put the two things, the time of the tip, together with what you think is called. But the key is, you know, what is it? What is the actual calling pass interference? And I think when you see the back judge writing down like that,
yeah.
You know what that usually means?
What's that?
That usually means that they're going to reverse it and take the foul away and then reset it. We'll have to see.
So does Lincoln's body language.
Yeah.
After review, the pass was tipped behind the line of scrimmage. By rule, there's no foul for pass interference. It's 4th down.
There you have it.
Well, I was curious what the adjustment would be for Greg Schiano, his defensive staff, and very clearly came after Barkley, came after Miller Moss a couple times. And right here, USC is keeping their guys on the field. And that's certainly a point of emphasis to get your hands up against Miller Moss at the line of scrimmage.
You saw Lincoln Riley say they're taking him off now. Dremel was back in punt return situation.
Wow, this is an aggressive call.
Very. 4th down and 6.
Punt.
And let's see. They are going to go ahead and let Miller Moss boot it away. So Lincoln Riley did see that Dremel came off the field at about the 15-yard line late as they were standing in formation. So he then signals for the punt situation.
Quick kick.
Yeah. 39-yard punt for the quarterback. Fox College Football sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Two top teams, number 1 versus number 2, modern day, St. John Bosco, and this is a pick 6 on the way.
Wow.
Sean Scott not only is going to score, but we got gymnastics coming. I mean, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
What? That's not a stunt double, right? Like they didn't bring on a stunt man.
Kind of looked like our guy from Colorado.
There's a ton going on around this area right now.
A little Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders-esque right there. Some serious athleticism. What, about 39 miles down the road?
Yeah, not far from here. Two huge powerhouse programs in high school football. Rutgers trailing by 2 scores, and this run is swallowed up. Fountain eventually finished the deal.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. That was like an RPO that never really looked like a pass. You see the fake to the true freshman here.
He's going to run.
Yeah, that was just kind of discombobulated from the jump. I would like to see some RPO in this system. You know, the factor that Monangai is, and even the freshmen. You know, give these guys, give Fountain, give this defensive line something more to think about. But that was messy.
Fountain stays in at the bottom of that defensive line. Here they come on Kaliak Manis. Quick trigger to the outside, and he's right on target to about the 24. That's a nice throw with the pressure starting, and KJ Duff puts it away. It's 3rd down and short.
Yeah, he throws with some confidence to that really big target at 6'6". Lots of catch radius on that hitch route.
3rd and 1. It's a run, and it's a 1st down for Raymond. This is what Greg Schiano was talking about, right? You lose a yard on 1st down, but you get it back to 3rd down and short, and they're very good at that spot.
Yeah, and trying to, I think, just take some carries off Monangai and make sure that you have him in that 4th quarter where there is, I think, a psychological advantage. If Rutgers can get the game there and make USC start thinking about all the previous 4th quarters.
Yeah, that here we go again seed gets planted and can be very powerful. From the 25, it's Raymond again, and he goes straight ahead. It's a gain of 4. I mean, we've seen this with Rutgers in the past, right? When Greg Schiano's team has been rolling in his first stint in the early 2000s, it was leaning on a run game just like this.
Yeah, it just grinds you. I mean, he's a grinder from the jump his whole career. That's what he has known, what he has done. And to do it physically, really, in all three phases. And you're seeing it right there, even with the official.
They both went mean mug in that conversation. Kaliakmanis didn't feel it, and Shaw lit him up.
Again, a little bit of a play action, that mesh point here. And Monungai's not able to come off and get to Shaw before he hits. Just in the nick of time does Kaliakmanis get rid of that ball. That's a couple times now that it has been really close. And here we go. Here's one of those third 5+ situations where SC coming into this game best in the country. And Rutgers a bit on the struggle bus.
11 targets for Dymere Miller. He's in the slot at the bottom of the formation. He's been the guy on third down tonight. Kaliakmanis wants to go deep. He's missed on 2. Miller right there this time at the 25, and here comes Rutgers.
And you could not have placed that ball any better for 46. Overshot him a couple times, right? Not this time. And I love the adjustment. The ball disappears out of the screen because I think it's about the 200 level of the Coliseum as it drops out of the night sky perfectly. Look at the loft, right? Instead of throwing a rocket that's got to be perfect, put air on it and let him go run. Well done.
Over 100 yards tonight for Miller. He's been enormous. Monungai back in. It's a fake to him. That's a dart. It is Dremel. Touchdown.
And there it is. There is that run-pass option that just sucks everybody up, including Shaw, the safety that's going to come up near the line of scrimmage. And why not? All they have done is run and run and run. And watch 27, right? Not shown any of this off that inside zone action. And an absolute dart right between the 8 and the 0 of the veteran. Nobody played more football than Christian Dremel. His 53rd game at Rutgers. And a big, big touchdown.
Monungai called him the most unselfish player on this team. Now they're going to go for 2. Schiano was on the field for a moment.
And this is because of the missed PAT earlier.
Good point. Got to chase points here to make it a one-score game. Monungai the pitch. Go back to Long. He'll throw end zone, and it's back to Kaliakmanis.
And somewhere Nick Foles is saying, I like that play. I think I ran in the Super Bowl to some success.
Jersey special? Is that what we're doing tonight?
Pretty much.
Late night? Kaliakmanis' face after this was like, I can't believe it. The other quarterback punted. He just caught a 2-point conversion. Who knows what this is going to be in the end? How many you got, Ethan? There you go. Christian Dremel came to Rutgers as a walk-on. He's got a big touchdown for the Scarlet Knights. And Ethan Kaliakmanis with the catch on the 2-point conversion. It's a one-score game suddenly.
And I love the adjustments on both sides. A little bit more aggressive defensively, getting your hands up, batting some balls down. And there, some play action, a little special, a little trickery after pounding the football really for the entirety of the first half.
With that, we take a look at our QB comparison sponsored by Macy's. Almost perfect for Miller Moss in the first half, but here comes Rutgers.
Yeah, I think 2 of those balls that were batted down are incompletions. Kaliakmanis would love to have a couple of those throws, especially one touchdown he missed, but what a response to come right back. And you've said it a bunch of times about both these guys. That ball's out, that ball's out, that ball's out. And when they know where they're going with it, you can see the efficiency pretty darn high.
Miller Moss came in 64%. He's been outstanding tonight. First down for USC in a game again. This throw over the middle. That's caught. Catch and run. Makai Lemon into space. traversing to the outside. He is inside the 10 and maybe to the 5. He had Hudson with him. Gain of 72.
Yeah, and that was Loyal on the coverage. Once again, that same in-cut, this time versus some pressure and man-to-man. And Loyal is there. And once again, what was the bugaboo for Rutgers a week ago? Yards after catch. 223 of those for UCLA a week ago. Well, right there in man coverage, you're right in his hip pocket. You don't bring him down, and the huge play follows.
And Salam saved the touchdown there by clearing out Hudson. 189 yards after the catch today for USC. That's 2 football fields of bonus yards. Woody marks again. 2nd and goal. Saw Page, the left tackle, in there late.
You know, I asked Lincoln Riley yesterday, do you focus on yards after catch? And he looked at me like I had really wide space eyes, which I do, and 4 eyes. Like, what are you talking about? That's the very foundation of what we do. That's one of the most studied things. And we've been the best for so long at Oklahoma, 2nd in the country 2 years ago here. And tonight, for one of the first times, explosive plays galore.
So now they have Joyner in the backfield. He'll flow this direction. Miller Moss, quick throw, incomplete. We wanted Lemon. There were 2 receivers that way. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and that was one of those, if it's not right, I'm going to live to play another down. I am not going to put the ball in harm's way. But if you're Rutgers here, right? I mean, this is, again, one of these psychological moments for Greg Schiano. Hold them to a field goal. Give up the explosive play. Hold them to a field goal. And you continue to put pressure on Miller Moss and USC to not separate too far from you.
We do have the 6'6" Deuce Robinson in the ball game. He's at the top of the formation as maybe a fade target here.
And with that tight split, you know that he'd love to give himself some room to that back pylon.
Looking this direction instead, and that is a hog tie pass interference. That's Loyal.
And that's one of the advantages that USC has. It's not just one big receiver. Jacoby Lane at 6'4" and can jump out of the gym is yet another one on the other side.
Pass interference, defense number 6. Foul occurred in the end zone. Snap happened between the 2 and the 17 by rule. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Yeah, just early contact, and once again, you turn that receiver, and you're talking about a 6'4" guy that can elevate. He's got 5 touchdowns. Deuce has got 4 touchdowns. Pick your poison.
He went with the second hand, and that might have drawn the marker. Woody Marks wears number 4 on his back. He's back in, and we get a false start.
Yeah, that's going to be the tight end.
Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Washington native Cade Eldridge.
Up in Linden. A lot of dairy farms up there, a lot of Dutch up there, and he was just trying to get a head start.
You a tour guide now?
I know a little bit about the Dutch dairy farmers up in Linden.
Okay.
And Lincoln Riley knows about his blocking, but he does not like that negative play on first down.
Somebody just said, hey, Deuce, and he's down at the bottom of the formation. Branch is in the slot. Moss. Touchdown.
Well, on the season, I'm looking at it. I got 19 attempts for negative 30 yards.
Yep.
So this is a way to at least put 7 in the positive column. He does not run 3 scrambles the entire year. He does have a rushing touchdown earlier this season, and that's just savvy. All right, that's just reading it out, seeing the overcommitment to everybody else to make sure Woody didn't get his 4th. Enough athleticism to get to the pylon.
Brock, that was 19 carries, negative 30 yards, and a touchdown, though.
True.
That's his 2nd rushing touchdown. Greg Schiano said to us about Lincoln Riley, he says, I feel like he sees the game through his quarterback's eyes. And when Miller Moss took a look up off this snap, all his eyes saw was green. Nothingness. And pylon. Touchdown, USC. Fox College Football is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. It's one way to make a Miller Moss jersey. You don't see that often, like a letter on the front and then a number on the back. How do you do that?
This is a high-level school.
It is.
Yeah.
Fight on and paint on. You got one of those necklaces that glows that you get at the amusement park? Touchback, Rutgers. Allison, what do you got?
Well, as Rutgers is able to move the football offensively, a big reason why their left tackle, Holland Pierce, he is gigantic, guys. 6'8", 344, one of the biggest offensive linemen in the country. But this is actually a slimmed down version of him. He weighed as much as 455 pounds when he came to Rutgers as a walk-on. Coach Schiano actually tells a story about him getting out of the car and the car actually shifting when he got out. But he came here and he committed to his nutrition, to his strength training, shed the weight, and has been a key contributor on that offensive line for them.
Yeah, look at that, 6'8" as well. Just an unbelievably imposing figure.
What an awesome story of dedication to the craft of getting better as Raymond gets slung down by Gavin Meyer. Second down. What he did, what Holland Pierce did, is not easy.
Nope.
For a lineman.
Nope. Transform your body.
Yeah.
Walk on. Ask the coach. Greg said when he got out of the car, he looked at him and was like, yeah, you can walk on.
Yeah, you can go talk to the guys.
There's not many 6'8", 400 guys that want to walk on and play. Look at the size of them. I mean, you watch the game tape and you're like, what is that? He looks like two guys over there. But he's going to get a shot at the next level because of that commitment to transform himself.
He's a high school basketball player. I'm sure there were a couple dunks on the resume. It's second down and 12, and USC is all over Raymond again. It'll be third down and very long.
And this is now back-to-back series with no Monungai.
Yeah.
And I understand kind of protecting and making sure for Danton Lynn that you have a healthy Kyle in the fourth quarter and everything else, but now you're staring down 3rd and 11 after 2 plays that go nowhere.
2 second-half carries so far for Monungai in a couple of drives. Now he's back on 3rd and 11.
Watch number 0. They have featured him. He's in the slot to the top an awful lot on these downs and distances.
He is once again. Cobb leaning in the middle at the line. He'll back off. They'll come with 4. Kaliak Manis for Monungai. And he is wrapped up and finally dropped. It was Nicholson at the bottom, just trying to go low and dig and hang on.
He looked like an animal that was burrowing into the ground. And look at this. He's just going to hang on for dear life. Come on, guys. Come on, I'll hold on to that leg.
Then he went full anaconda.
Yes, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is what veterans do. He's played a ton of football, 5th-year player, hanging on, and the Trojans finish.
How about when he was on the ground? He still kept his momentum going a little bit.
Have to, because that guy you're tackling is not going to stop.
But that's hard to do while you're on the ground, to have some kinetic energy. It's really nice by Nicholson, and they just get that off. Rugby-style punt from Anderson. He gets it away for Branch and no chance to return it. Hey, college football action continues tomorrow on Fox. We'll start in the Big Ten. Big noon Saturday at the Horseshoe. Dylan Raiola and Nebraska against number 4 Ohio State. Then, if you like points, join the folks at Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth. Tim Brando, Devin Gardner will be there. Josh Sims, Texas Tech, and TCU. 3 won't win it. It's a huge day of college football. It all kicks off at Big Noon Saturday tomorrow on Fox.
Yeah, gut check time for the true freshman Raiola. Such a story the first half of the season. But kind of like a baseball season, it's such a marathon. The college football season, not determined in the first or second quarter. USC can attest to that. It is about finishing games and finishing seasons.
Yeah, this story will finish somewhere for USC. At 3-4 right now. There's a false start coming. Yep. Rutgers was pointing at Jacoby Lane. It was longer beam covering him up.
False start. Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It was actually Lane, we think. They called it on Branch.
Yeah, I think it's 8 right at the very bottom of the screen. I think both of them actually kind of flinch, take a pick. But Longer Beam, the captain, the senior, he's going to notice that point right away. Not many pre-snap negative penalties, if any at all, in that first half. That's now a couple here in the second.
We've had a couple of incorrect license plates run tonight. Guys that maybe didn't deserve it. That one, it was both. Zachariah Branch gets cleaned out. That was a big hit by Monheim in front of it, and Loyal made the stop.
That looks like Aaron Lewis.
It is.
The defensive end to the left here that was a part of that. Does a good job of retracing his steps. Linemen go away. And then he takes the brunt of the collision with Loyal. A lot of creative screens out of USC tonight, huh?
Yeah, that's got to be real fun to prep for as a defensive coordinator.
And for these defensive linemen to run, am I rushing? Do I retrace? Do I think? Yeah, I like your line earlier that Shiano mentioned about Lincoln Riley and how he plays a former quarterback himself. But he has evolved this air raid into so many different factors. And playing the game through the quarterback's eyes, he knows those gimme completions, get the ball out. Really nice. And then I know we cleaned it up earlier, but this is also another key for Lincoln Riley that Shiano talked about. Everything that's hard on a defense, he does.
Yeah. All of it in one bag.
Yeah, it's not just, let's run a little zone or a little ISO or, maybe some quick game. Oh, no. Everything that's difficult, RPOs and screens and misdirections and vertical games and the running back involved, like everything that is hard on defensive coordinators is exactly what that guy's done through his career.
And so it's on Joe Harasimiak, the former tennis coach at Maine Maritime Academy.
Oh, there you go. Got it in.
He was going to go be a high school football coach.
Yep.
And he got a phone call from a former coach of his, said, there's a job at Maine Maritime Academy. You want to coach football? And he said, sure. And they said, you have to teach a tennis class as well. So you asked him, did you play tennis? He said, nope.
But I could teach.
2nd and 11 off the injury for Lewis. Moss leans back into it. Hudson shape-shifting, and that's going to be incomplete. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. One of the officials said complete. Okay, it's a catch. No, I wasn't sure.
Well, I think they're going to get to the line as quickly as they possibly can, but that replay boost got to take another look.
He did not catch that ball.
Under further video review.
It's a gain of 19 if it stands.
It's an unbelievable job with his feet. Look at the feet. I mean, the sand kicks up while he has it, but does he ever control it at the end? I don't think either official, you could see both of the head linesmen and the back judge running in. I think they were kind of blocked. They were just simply looking at the feet.
I think his feet were in the air when he caught the ball, Masco knows, and then he's down. Hudson is. Mike Pereira, what do you see here?
It's incomplete. I mean, the two officials come together. The side judge is the one that appeared to have it as a catch and or as an incomplete pass, but the two get together, and then it's kind of like who's the strongest in their conviction as to what it is, but it's incomplete.
The receiver touched out of bounds, so the pass is incomplete. Be 3rd down.
Mike, do you get time and a half when we talk to you more than 4 times in a game?
Well, time and a half and this late, and I got early games tomorrow. I'm just sleeping in here tonight, too. So.
Attaboy. Got the Murphy bed there.
Murphy bed. Thank you, Mike. That's interesting, though, with the communication between officials, right? Sure. Who has the better look?
Yep. I mean, what an unbelievable effort there from Hudson to try to get his feet in and even make that a catch or a possibility of it. But now 3rd and 11, and Rutgers got to get off the field here. You do all the work to get to 3rd and 11. Got to find a way to finish.
Are you sure?
Yes. And a little empty here. And I also know this, you better tackle. If it's thrown in front of you, you better finish that tackle.
Joyner split out as a wide receiver, so it's 4 wide. Moss over the middle, incomplete. It was playable for Lemon, and he saw green grass. USC is going to have to punt. Lemon wants it back.
He does, because this is a beautiful throw. Chibome, the linebacker, actually drops back underneath it and I think just distracts enough. Chibome is long, 6'2", 245. Lemon's kicking himself. He knows he had a shot of it because that was a beautiful throw in the only spot Moss could have put it.
USC does have a punter. Eddie Chaplitsky just barely got it away.
A good one.
Dremel had the touchdown earlier, and this is a fair catch inside the 15-yard line. As Mike alluded to, we have college football tomorrow. Big noon kickoff is back in Columbus. Special guests Bryce Harper and Luke Bryan join the show. Mark Ingram sits down with Heisman hopeful Cam Ward, plus Urban Meyer, a reunion with his national championship team from 10 years ago. Then Nebraska against number 4 Ohio State at noon, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And, you know, Buckeye fans don't love a loss, right? But I think everybody's got to recalibrate a little bit with this new college football playoff and the new Big Ten. One loss, 2 losses, you still might find yourself in the college football playoff.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. And, yeah, that is some guys at the top that are off to just a tremendous start.
Oregon, Illinois coming up tomorrow. See if Ohio State can stay the course. Raymond back in to play tailback, and he jitterbugs outside, and he's grabbed by Green. It's a loss, and it's second down, and no sign of Monungai right now.
Here he comes again onto the field on second down, and all I can think is that you're just trying to preserve the number of carries. It was a heavy workload in that first half.
16.
So you're trying to, you know, maybe keep those carries to 20, 25. But this is a drive you got to have. Right? I mean, this is the one that you got to now control the ball, get this game to the fourth quarter, and put some points on the board.
Wouldn't you think as well, maybe some of those carries on first down to set yourself up in a better spot?
And avoid these off schedules.
2nd and 11. Kaliak-Manis has to bail and drop it off. Monungai took the contact, spun out of it. Mason Cobb, Gavin Meyer involved. The ball was out at the end, but they're going to say he was down. I mean, he just got doused.
Yeah, and he remains down.
Oh. Was Cobb first.
It's Cobb first, and then Meyer, 290 pounds as well, pursues, and you could just see his head bounce off the ground as well. Just another violent collision, the first and the second, because the guy just has no stopping him whatsoever.
No, he does. I mean,
and this is respect, by the way.
Yeah.
Monungai is down in front of these USC guys.
Greg Schiano just said, did they see maybe targeting from upstairs? Because there is a crown of the helmet situation in terms of a tackle. And reading lips, I believe that's what Schiano just asked for from Greg Blum, our referee. Mike Pereira is with us. Mike, what do you see here?
Yeah, I don't like it as targeting, and here's why. Number one, you have to make the decision, is he defenseless or is he not? Had he had time to become a runner and protect himself from that contact? I think he does. So then that eliminates, just makes it totally crown, has to be crown of the helmet, and this is not. This is actually off to the side. So as long as they agree with the fact that he's not defenseless, then I don't see you having a foul here, and if it was me, I wouldn't even stop it.
So, Mike, as you look at that, right, and we talk about this all the time of trying to define what the crown of the helmet is. So when it's to the side of the helmet, as it looks like it is here with Cobb, it's not directly at the top. They kind of hit to the side, almost by the decal. That's why it's not the crown.
That's correct. So it's just a 6-inch radius around the very top of the helmet. So you want to see this position, quite frankly, when the player is making the hit, and you want to see it with the very top of the helmet. And that, again, is what they call 913. So that means he's not defenseless, and it has to be pure crown of the helmet, and that's not. Now, you make it defenseless, make him defenseless, then head or neck area, but even this isn't maybe enough to have it at that point.
Let me ask you, Mike, just for people watching that might be interested in this sort of thing, especially if you're a Rutgers fan and you're like, well, what does it matter if it's a 6-inch radius or whatever? Why is it dedicated to just that portion of the helmet? What's the purpose of that?
Well, it changed. I mean, it wasn't that. It was much more broad when the rule first came out, but then you were getting a lot of targeting fouls that, you know, part of this is you're trying to protect the player, not only that gets hit, but the one that's doing the hitting. And the concern was getting that head straight down and hitting with the top of the helmet. So they didn't want to eject so many players that it might have a competitive aspect of it. So they just put it to that small circle. And, you know, they're getting right now one ejection every 6 games. It seems like there's more, but there's not. Players have learned, and I think the officials have learned too, and replay what to call. So I really do think it's been successful.
Mike, thank you very much for that explanation.
Yeah, and looking at that again, I think it was Meyer as well. The D tackle and that hitting his head, hitting the ground also played a role, and that is just awful to see.
It is. 3rd down and 7 for Rutgers. Kaliak-Manis sees the pressure come from the outside. Meyer coming again. Kaliak-Manis, that's tipped and nearly caught. It looked like it hit the ground, and it is going to be incomplete for KJ Duff.
Yeah, that was awfully dangerous right there, because John Humphrey, the corner, is just staring this down and has every opportunity. Look at 19. I don't think Kaliak-Manis sees him. I think there was a crossing route in front of him. I don't even think he ever saw the veteran corner, and that is one that Humphrey would like to have back.
A couple of picks last year for UCLA, and his defensive coordinator now at USC, Danton Lynn. Rutgers just really has not been able to stop USC a whole lot. 3rd 3 and out for Rutgers, leads to Branch and a fair catch, and USC just short of midfield with Miller Moss coming back out.
I would like to see a little Zachariah Branch here.
Off of what type of play, Brock?
Yeah, in any way. Right, he had the touchdown earlier that was overruled. It was called a touchdown. They took it away from him. He is such a difference maker. Right, has not gotten many returns and shots in the return game. Certainly Mekhi Lemons made 2 huge plays today.
3 targets only for Branch.
But he's just one of those guys that the more at bats you give him, right, he is a home run hitter. And into the final 4 or 5 weeks of the season, you would like to see him in that lineup be just the power that he was a year ago.
He's in the slot at the top of the screen, wearing number 1. Woody Marks. It's a gain of 2 on a 1st down run. Sanders with the tackle.
Yeah, and a nice job there. That is the counter game, and they talked about logistics, right? There have been times that they have been outmanned. That time you have the 2 initial hits, but you have the extra defender to clean it up, and just a 2-yard gain.
Branch now lined up in the slot at the bottom of the screen with Igbinosun. Second down, this way. Marks, catch and run. He just leans into every step, and it's a 1st down.
Well, I'll say this about Branch. He's not getting maybe as many touches, but he doesn't care. He is doing the block, and that time, yet again, another crack screen. Branch has to come down, and he's got a block. And I love that right there, man. Celebrate other people's success. Even though you don't have the touchdowns and all the big plays, he's doing a bunch of the dirty work tonight.
And now Marks, who had 45 straight games with a catch in Starkville when he was at Mississippi State, continues to be a factor. His 5th grab to lead USC tonight. Pick up by McCree. That leads to Lemon. He is out of here. 40 yards of zest.
Well, have yourself a night, Mr. Lemon. Did on the kickoff return, did with the explosive play earlier, nearly finding the end zone, and that time he does.
So yards after the catch are important, you said, about USC, Brock?
Yeah, when they're humming and they're scoring, 40 points a game, which is kind of what Lincoln has done, 39.3 since 2022 here. Pretty big deal. That's now 225 of their 311 after the catch. You're going to see Lemon come from the right side here. A nice pickup by McCree. Pressure has been some of the adjustment in the second half, but that's just a bust. Corner runs with Zachariah Branch in a man situation. It looks like everybody else is playing zone, and that is just a void that Mackay knows what to do the rest with. I was saying to you during one of the breaks, as USC transitions into this Big Ten, it just strikes me, and even looking at the standings of the Big Ten we just showed, nice little dance from Mackay, as USC makes this adjustment into this league, you've got to go take it.
Yep.
Very few in this league, the Iowas, the Minnesotas, the Michigan, like up and down, like they don't give it to you, right? They don't make a ton of mistakes. They play pretty darn sound defense, and you've got to go earn it with your execution. And USC has done it in conference tonight in a way they've not done it all year.
Better yards after the catch tonight. USC's receivers or Titus Heward's receiver on his first touchdown pass on varsity?
It was a running back.
Okay.
But same kind of.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't watch closely enough on the video. Downstairs, Alice.
Well, guys, what a performance for Miller Moss here tonight so far. And he said that during these recent struggles, he's learned a lot about himself, and he's learned to lean on the people he's closest to. And one of those is Commanders offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury, who was with USC last year as an offensive analyst. The two still talk a lot. He said he just uniquely understands me as a player and a person. Some of the difficulties he's gone through, he can relate to what I'm going through. And they've been in a touch a lot. And he said he just tells me just to continue to be myself and trust the player that I am.
Miller Moss was very frank with us. He's had coaches in his past, in his life, earlier in life, say, you're not going to play at that level. He aspired to be a USC quarterback, and he's been told that a bunch of times in his life. And this type of day is meaningful to that young man.
That's how you kind of silence some of those doubters. Yeah, he's not overwhelming, right? He's not Caleb Williams, doesn't run like those guys and have the most powerful arm. But when you play on time and you play on target, you can play at any level.
And to Allison's point, Cliff Kingsbury having a lack of success at the NFL level and understanding difficulty. A lot of this in college football. These two teams know it, right? They tried to claim their territory early in the year. They've lost 3 in a row. Who's going to get through it better? Right now, they love LA. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good. Very consistent night so far for USC. They're on pace for 56. Brock?
It's pretty good. Only 4 third down attempts. I mean, Rutgers is pretty good. 7 of 15 on third down. USC only 4 of those. And Miller Moss, I think he's been hit once.
Yeah, once or twice, if that. Second down and 8 for Rutgers. Out of the third quarter break, they're without Kyle Monungai right now, who was down for quite a while after his last touch of the football. And a lot of cushion there. Dremel's got a first down. He's hit hard by Nicholson, but USC kind of playing that all night. They're without a bunch of cogs in the secondary.
That's right. They're down a couple of their top corners in Covington and Smith, and you just see the cushion keep everything in front of you. I mean, you're not even in the picture on a hitch route. So Nicholson, the corners come up, made some nice tackles. Very much do not give up the big play and make Rutgers earn it.
Dremel out of the same high school as Kyle Monungai. Don Bosco, Mike Teal as well, famed Rutgers quarterback. Raymond had a head of steam there, and he's twisted out of bounds by Mascarenas Arnold. We are past 2 o'clock Eastern time in the morning.
And if you felt that, like for Rutgers?
Not at all.
Like at any point. I meeting with him yesterday, and nice look at Mascarenas Arnold, who chases everything down. Another double-digit tackle night for him. But that's not been the story.
No.
They're not sluggish. They're not lacking energy. Just trying to keep up with the firepower of USC.
It's another run, and it's going to be about a half a yard short. It looks like I was bringing it up to give credit to the folks in the Garden State who are still with us tonight.
Yeah, and Greg Schiano did not act like, oh, it's no big deal. They did a lot this week to try to prepare for it.
No, it's part of the planning for this team as Raymond had an arm tackle at first, then he got belted. Mascarenas Arnold was in there as well. It is going to be a first down. Allison Williams.
Well, guys, and Greg Schiano, you know, even as the head coach in the NFL with the Bucs, he never adjusted for traveling multiple time zones, but he had to this week because of the late kickoff. And so he had them set their clocks to mountain time and try and adjust that way on Tuesday. But he had a great line about playing this late. You know, it's almost 2:30 back east. He said, hopefully the game is on the line. I don't like my decision-making at 2:30 in the morning. I certainly don't like my players' decision-making at that time either. But, guys, I got to agree with you. I've seen great energy just throughout the night from Rutgers.
Yeah, it's impressive. Thank you, Allison. He would love to make a big decision coming up. Man, Mascarenas Arnold just looked like he got slingshotted at Raymond.
Yeah, he is 6 foot. He's kind of like Monunga. He is low to the ground. You talk to a lot of linebackers, and they will tell you at times there's an advantage to being 5'11". Right? You can just play with great force. Oh.
Out of bounds, Miller. Yeah, the ooh was for Christian Pierce coming at him hard. Third down. Kaliakmanis to the stick, and Miller caught it short of the line to gain, it looked like. Yeah, this is going to be fourth down and about a yard. That's a big play.
Yeah, once again going with some tempo here, and I think doing that to try to limit some of all the creative pressure looks. Been a good little adjustment in the second half as well.
Out of the gun, 4th and 1. Here comes Mascarenas Arnold, and it is Raymond who is spun around by Green. It's a first down for Rutgers.
Yeah, and that is a nice job by Gus Galinskas, the center, the veteran center. Watch him after the snap, just out of the corner of his eye. Right, that peripheral vision to have the awareness to get his head up and get in the way of Mascarenas Arnold. Otherwise, that would have been hit in the backfield.
Makes me think of our conversation with Monheim on the USC side about playing the center position and just having a split second before the snap to think about your own blocking assignment. Kaliakmanis down the middle, incomplete, second down. The way Monheim put it, you're dealing with so much at the front. He said, the synapses fire right before the snap on your own job, which is so interesting, I think. Like, people just think, like, oh, you snap the ball and that's it.
Well, no, you got to be the smartest guy on the field, and Monheim is on the other side. First year I've been talking to the USC people, they are blown away at his ability to process. It is the same thing there. The closer you are to the football, the better processor you got to be.
Play number 11 of this drive for the Scarlet Knights. Kaliakmanis spits it out wide. He's got the tight end Higgins, who had some free reign on the sideline. First down. That's a position group that has been ravaged by injuries. Kenny Fletcher and Victor Konopka both out for the year. Kaliakmanis with tempo again. That is nearly picked off, incomplete. Cobb couldn't get his hands underneath off the deflection from Raymond.
This is awfully close, but it does bounce. Good call.
You want to stop this one too?
No.
Look at that. Almost even in terms of yardage. And we're going to get a timeout by the Trojans here. Off goes the visor. And it's back on. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life. creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Santa Monica, downtown Los Angeles, shimmering in the beautiful moonlight. A lot of sports going on around here, and, you know, just for good measure, we had a challenge by USC. They tried to initiate a challenge to see if Mason Cobb intercepted that ball. So you didn't want to stop the game, but USC did, and they lost the timeout for
I
him.
get fighting for your player, and we saw him earlier on the reversal of the Zachariah Branch touchdown, but that time somebody upstairs got to tell Lincoln, who was red hot. No, coach, that actually bounced and was the right call on the field.
You try to tell him when he's that angry. You want to be that guy who says, you know what, not worth it. Second down for Kaliakmanis. USC outscored 46-21 in the fourth quarter in their 4 losses this year. 3-score game as it stands right now. Kaliakmanis near side. That's another wide open Dymere Miller, and he just couldn't keep his feet. He ends up skating out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 2.
This is a lot of cushion that USC has given these guys on so many of these concepts.
Raymond tripped up and dropped. It'll be 4th down coming up. That was Tuliaupupu with the tackle.
Is this a 22nd play of this drive?
It feels like it, doesn't it? 15.
15.
Four and a half yards a play. Three out of 4 on 4th down. Kaliakmanis to throw. Miller couldn't catch it this time. It was right there. He had to reach for it, and USC takes over.
Well, it was there, and it should be caught, but that's a negative and a minus, unfortunately, on both grade sheets. Miller knows he can make that catch. Kaliakmanis knows he can make it a whole lot easier, and instead, it'll be USC's ball.
Rutgers, Lakers, and USC football have never all won on the same day. Does it count? I don't want to be that guy, but does it count if the final score of the USC game actually happens the next day? Because we're like 40 minutes away from it being the next day. But I will say, with the Lakers winning, that one of the jerseys that we saw on the way in here tonight is Marks is free again. Woody Marks with 3 touchdowns. There were a couple of Bronny James jerseys on the way into the Coliseum here tonight, and rightfully so.
Yep. This offense has a lot of weapons, Jason. Man, and if you can protect it, and that's what Lincoln said to Allison at halftime. We're talking about all the perimeter players, but the guys up front have really set the table for so much of this production. Been their best game of the year.
Good to have Pregnon in the lineup for part of this game. That was not terribly accurate. It's incomplete. Second down as we take a look at our Friday night spotlight, sponsored by KFC. It's finger licking good.
Yeah, that was, I think, the first real errant pass of the night. A couple of them have been tipped, but more often than not, Miller has put it right on the numbers for catch and run. All his yards after catch, you know, it's about putting it in front of those guys. That was also a big touchdown when the game got cut to 1 score. Pulled it on that zone read and showed off that lightning speed.
Why doesn't Allison do those? She's in all the commercials during the breaks. Marks tried to switch back, and he is engulfed and dropped by Troy Rainey, the senior out of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah, these guys, it doesn't look like it's 2:30 on their body clock. It doesn't really matter the wave of guys coming in that continue to play hard. And it is going to be a long flight back across the country.
Yeah, Rutgers has decided to leave after the game. Some teams do stay after the game, but they will see sunrise on the plane. 3rd down and 10. They'll go empty for Miller Moss. He steps up, he drops it off, and that's a tangle, including Kyle Ford. Longer beam was hooked to him, and it's 4th down.
You know what that was? That was obsessive hugging.
It was, yeah. It was, that was part of the plan.
It was. That was the first time on that concept. They ran it on a 3rd and 5. They ran it on a touchdown. That was the exact same concept. It is a screen that you come back under the line of scrimmage, and that time Longer beam finally said, no, I am going to get right into the frame of Kyle Ford, and I'm going to hug him up so much so that we force the punt.
That was actual language used by Rutgers coaching staff on how they wanted to go ahead and deal with that screen game. It's a fair catch for Dremel. On a 45-yard punt, Rutgers has it after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by Uber Eats. Get game day deals all season long. That was very long. Freddie Freeman.
How close did that ball lay into Kirk Gibson's ball?
Not far. Not far. So Kirk Gibson told me the story earlier this year. We were on a road trip with the Tigers to Arizona, and we were sitting on the bus, and I asked him about the home run in the World Series. And he said, the first thing I saw was the brake lights of all the people in their cars in the right field parking lot who were listening on the radio because they had decided to leave.
Wow. Wow.
How about that? For awareness, right? First down for Rutgers. Kaliak-Manis gets it away. He's got the tight end Higgins, and he gets cracked again. That's Desmond Stevens. And this is a promo. Tomorrow on Fox, don't miss Game 2 of the World Series. Aaron Judge and the Yankees battle Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Coverage starts 7 Eastern on Fox. Game 2 coming up. Looked like the Yankees were going to win that ball game, scoring in the top of the 10th as that's knocked away. It is Zion Branch on the coverage of Long, the senior. So USC up 22. Hoping to end that 3-game losing streak and then hoping to go on a run here.
Yep.
It would be the opposite of what we saw last year with this team, with USC opening strong again. 2 great starts to Lincoln Riley's couple of seasons here. Pac-12 title game a couple of seasons ago, lost to Utah. Third down. Kaliak-Manis has had a pretty clean pocket most of the night. He hits Raymond this time, and it's first down Rutgers.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be one of the big steps into this offseason, years to come. USC has got to find guys that can get home. They lose Anthony Lucas, their best pass rusher. Right, they lose Eric Gentry, leading the team in sacks as well, but doing more of that with rushing 4. I mean, that's what Danton Lynn had last year. I mean, a season ago at UCLA, 43 sacks. 43. They're on pace this year for 14. Right? Similar scheme, and he's hyper aggressive, and he's got lots of cool looks. Now, Latu had a lot to do with that. The 15th pick in the NFL draft, the first defensive player that went. But in this kind of NFL scheme, he's going to need more of the Cam Fountains. He's going to need more of those guys. But when you rush 4, you get home.
2.5 sacks in the defensive line so far through 7 games this year. Rutgers playing without Monungai. That time they got there, it's Sam Green, the redshirt freshman.
And that was his first of the year. That one's going to feel pretty sweet, and that's exactly what we're talking about right here. 44 right in view, just a 4-man rush. Does a nice job of getting underneath the pads of Needham and getting home. You're exactly right. 2.5 sacks out of the D-line room, 2.5 out of the DB room. And because of Gentry, 3 sacks from the linebackers. That is it in totality. So that is that's a sight that man certainly enjoys.
Well, you mentioned it. Dan Lynn said to us, the Big Ten is the closest thing to the NFL, just in terms of schemes that you see. And he said, look, the SEC's got a ton of talent, but he feels like the Big Ten, in his experience, is as close to the NFL as you're going to get in college. Kaliak-Manis goes underneath. Raymond makes one-man miss and turns it into a first down.
Uh-oh.
That was Desmond Stevens.
Uh-oh. We just saw something happen. It hadn't happened all year. The first third and 10 plus conversion. 0 for 17 were foes. against USC's defense, and the true freshman broke the ankles to get it done.
Kaliakmanis tripped up. That was Elijah Hughes, the sophomore from Northern Virginia.
And he's saying, oh, come on. That was a sack.
Nope.
Come on.
Sorry.
Give me my first, for crying out loud. I worked this hard, 2 career tackles.
You think kids say the phrase "for crying out loud"?
Probably not.
5 minutes to go. Kaliakmanis sensed the pressure that time. He spun it out wide. He's got Higgins, the tight end. That was Achille Arnold firing in on him. Third down.
I'll tell you what, man, when you do watch Danton Lynn, you do see an NFL style. That time, a little zone blitz. They bring man blitzes, so many different stunts. He's kind of like his counterpart, Lincoln Riley, on the other side, has brought a lot of scheme. But I think USC fans will tell you it's sound. Over the last few years, some of the stuff not particularly sound. This is a whole lot more structure, and yet again another third down opportunity.
10 for 20 on third down. That's very good against one of the best third down defense in the country. What a pickup by Raymond to clear that throw. Oh my goodness. KJ Duff hauled it in, but Raymond threw his body in front.
Yeah, and that was Sam Green. We saw him rushing off the edge, and that time he is going to rush 44 right through the A gap, and that is a 255-pound force coming at you. Great catch on the other end too.
Another 10-play drive for Rutgers. Kaliakmanis lobs it up. Miller got rid of his defender. It's incomplete. It was Achille Arnold who's like, is there not offensive pass interference in the rule book?
Yeah, and then Miller just had that ball fall right through his hands. I think a lot of early contact. You're right. Maybe getting away with a little push, a little shove, and then
he was occupied with his hands, I think, and never really saw the ball in. Sorry, that's your job, but is that fair to say?
I think it is. You know, there's no question that contact got in the way, but he's too good. 11 catches tonight. He's going to want that one back.
Second down, Kaliakmanis tipped and incomplete, and a big hit again in the middle of the field. Mason Cobb was there. Clang.
This is a lot of plays for Rutgers.
87 plays.
Unbelievable. I don't think Rutgers has ever run 87 plays.
All the way back to the 1800s?
Maybe. But another shot there for Mason Cobb. He had the shot earlier on Manungai. If you told me the Rutgers going to be 10 and 20 on third down and run 80-something plays,
what would you have said the score was going to be?
Not 42-20.
No?
No.
Kaliakmanis ran right into the pressure. He didn't know it was there on the backside from Branch, and it's a sack.
Yeah, that was all effort and want to. We have seen him pick on Branch a little bit in the secondary. But coming off of the edge, he gets around our big fella, Hall and Pierce. Just too much speed dipping underneath. And this is a season high in sacks for the Trojans as well.
Fourth and 19. Kaliakmanis rears back again. This to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Nicholson flung his body at it. USC will take over.
That is a lot of defensive snaps, nearing 90 of them for a lot of guys that haven't played that much football. Right, we talk about all the Rutgers guys being out, but that's the most snaps that Nicholson has seen, Humphrey has seen, Branch and Pierce and Prophet Brown, Shaw. These guys have played a ton of ball defensively tonight.
Most impressive part of the defensive effort tonight for USC is what?
I think just that. I think you bring in, a lot of your depth and you don't change form. I think as a coaching staff, a lot of time, oh man, we got backups to backups playing. We got to simplify things. Nope, that's not the way things operate here, offensively or defensively. If you're good enough to be here, you're good enough to play the whole scheme.
And now we're going to see Jaden Mayava, the transfer from UNLV, who jumps onto the field for the final couple of snaps here for the Trojans.
And this guy can spin a football.
He can also run a football. Oh, he broke it down into a stutter step for a first down. Well, Miller Moss leaves at 20 for 28, 3 touchdowns for Marks in the first half. Lemon, a big day as well.
Yeah, they just they got the big play. I mean, Lemon had a couple explosive plays. Marks got a couple big runs, not quite the 50 or 60 or 70, but super efficient. Honestly, I think Miller Moss had like one bad throw.
Yeah, the screen.
Yeah,
right
that was it. Everything else was pretty much on target. And you know what's a whole lot more effective?
What's that?
28 passes, not 50.
Yeah, they were throwing it more than they did when Caleb Williams
Too much.
was here, and part of that was the passes turned into runs when Caleb Williams was running around and freelancing.
Yeah.
Mayava, whose former team lost in a big one to Boise State tonight in the Mountain West. Our 2-minute timeout here at the Coliseum. A big day in Los Angeles. It's full West Coast, full throttle.
Inside our LA studios, Mike Hill along with Chris Peterson. Plenty of college football action coming your way this weekend, including our big noon kickoff matchup between Nebraska and 4th-ranked Ohio State. Coach, coming off that loss against Oregon, do you still consider Ohio State a top-tier title contender, or does that loss give you any concern whatsoever?
I very much consider them a title contender, and I think that loss in the long run is going to benefit them. I think they finally got stress tested. All their games were basically blowouts going into that 1-point loss. I thought their offense did a nice job. Will Howard's playing at a high level. The receivers are nice. The 1-2 punch at running back, all that was good. The concern that I had was on defense. I think that defensive line has to get after the quarterback better. They had no sacks, pressured the quarterback only twice. And so something has to change there. I'll be curious going forward how Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, adjusts, put more pressure on the quarterback.
See how they do against Dylan Raiola and Nebraska tomorrow. They have not lost back-to-back regular season games since 2011.
Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. 15 plays that tell the story.
Yeah, it was pounding the football early. Right, a couple touchdowns there from Marks running right through tackles. The screen game I thought was the best and most effective it's been really all year for USC. The touchdown there to Kyle Ford. Rutgers said, hey, hold on a second, though. We've come all the way across the country. We're not going to give. Touchdown by Manungai, the third of the night for Mr. Marks there in the first half. And once again, Rutgers did not quit. Made this a one-score game, and you wondered, could USC dig deep? Were they mentally tough enough, physically tough enough? Get the touchdown to extend it to 2 scores. This was the big play from Lemon, Mr. Zest himself, to make it a 3-score game. And even though Rutgers has run 89 plays to USC's 47, those 47 for Mr. Moss and company, highly explosive.
There was only 8 plays, but you did a great job. I know you were worried that you weren't going to get us through the entire Pacific Life game summary, but you made quite the splash.
Well, that's the first time I've done it at 11:45.
Joyner, what a cut. He darts backward this way. It'll be 3rd and 1. Here's what's coming up for USC. We'll see how this thing ends, but they're going to have a say in what Notre Dame does. They're right at the edge. Notre Dame, 12th. Yep. It's 12-team college football playoff right now.
Well, they're going to need their secondary to be a whole lot healthier next week up in Seattle. This was a pretty good opponent for Lincoln Riley from a passing game standpoint that you could play a lot of depth, but they got to get some of the guys on the back end healthy because we know Washington can throw it and move it offensively. And then that bye comes at a pretty good time as well.
Freshman out of McKinney, Texas, Brian Jackson, the 4-star recruit, is in, and he will carry it for a first down. That's his 13th carry of his freshman year. Off a strong spring for him. Big Noon Saturday, Nebraska, Ohio State, Texas Tech, TCU thereafter. I would say it's a big Saturday of football, but in multiple time zones, it's already a big Saturday of football. It's a big today of football. USC 9 yards of play tonight. 9 yards of play. Jackson again, right into the line, and that could be all.
Yep, and playing on a Friday will give them a little extra day of rest, right? They have had some tough trips. Don't have any more of those left. Got to go up to Seattle, a familiar place. Got, UCLA, Notre Dame here. And tonight showed exactly what Greg Schiano was a little concerned about. Like this USC team now, they got some perimeter people. They got some firepower. And when they put it together, a whole lot of speed and difference makers.
We're going to run one more play here. Just get Jackson another look and hope it was worth it. USC puts away Rutgers. A great bounce back for Miller Moss and USC closing out a big win, keeping Rutgers at bay in the second half. As we fade to black at the Coliseum, it's 42-20, the Trojans.
Well, we said one of these teams is going to get right. One of them is going to find a way to end this 3-game losing streak. The